doing it right.
The face you were doing was
I mean, I'm picking with the right
It's the
part,
same
right?
face when Hydra Live comes in to give you a bag.
Yeah. I use that face a lot in life, by the way.
From Jeff Goodman, 6'6" junior guard entering the transfer portal. A name you guys will definitely recognize.
6'6" junior guard.
6'6" junior guard. You will definitely recognize this name. He's in the transfer portal. He averaged 18.9 points per game.
Oh, wait, is this the kid from Kennesaw State?
It is not the kid from Kennesaw State.
God, I can't wait till he gets in. He's got to come to Tuscaloosa.
It's going to be your Indian.
Trey Eaglestaff of North Dakota is officially in the portal.
Track that plane. Is he in Tuscaloosa yet?
Alabama saw him up close, as Jeff Goodman includes in the tweet. He had 40 earlier this season against Alabama.
Yeah.
That would be the logical destination if you're Nate Oates.
We even joked with Greg Byrne about it. If you remember, Greg Byrne was on the show the day after that game, and Lance asked him, did you pack Eaglestaff in your carry-on? It's 6'6" guard, a little big for that.
No, but I don't have his name in front of me, but I mentioned on one of the basketball shows with Taylor Corn earlier this year, the kid from Kennesaw State, who is their leading scorer, is a Tuscaloosa kid. And he led Kennesaw State in scoring. So
you think Petway's going to send him to his alma mater?
You'd hate to go take one from Petway, but he was a freshman, true freshman. You just think,
I don't think Nate would hate that at all.
No. Sorry, Pat. Sorry, Pat. All right. Trash time here, a little condensed version today brought to you by our friends at Mortgage Right. Tyler, if you've got your pants in order, Jeeves, hit it.
Do y'all usually start before 8 o'clock with a chainsaw?
What time is it, sir?
Well, it's after 8 now. You guys started firing it up at 7:55.
LT's Trash is presented by Mortgage Right. Mortgages done the right way.
Back when life was simpler.
The old pandemic. Under his breath, I think he said sorry about that, does he?
I don't know. I've never heard
I think that's the first time I've heard that.
No, you've never heard that? Yeah. Sorry about that.
Yeah,
sorry about that.
As the other guy is hammering the trigger. Yes.
Hey, if you're looking for a new home, our friends at Mortgage Right here to help. Whether you're a first-time buyer, seasoned home buying veteran, their great service and low rates make the process so easy. Speaking of veterans, veteran founded right here in Birmingham. So remember, whether you're looking for your final home, your first home, whether you have a big down payment or need 100% financing, Mortgage Right, one-stop shop for mortgages. Visit them online, mortgageright.com. Call 205-900-7200, MLS 2239, Equal Housing Lender. By the way,
Since you listened to my last message so well and got rid of those cargo shorts and stained t-shirts, it's time to replace them with Roback. Go to roback.com and click on the Refresh collection to find all that you need for an EG-approved wardrobe. It includes pieces that will have you ready to hit the golf course after a busy day of meetings or comfy favorites for travel and working from home. Get 20% off using code TNR20. See, I'm saving you some money.
Everything Next Round is on demand now in the podcast section at nextroundlive.com.
All right, Auburn fans, I want you to become a member of thebarnauburn.com and join in on the fun. Whether it's recruiting discussions, off-season chatter, or the latest Auburn athletics news, we've got it all. Get $25 off your annual subscription when you sign up for your account at thebarnauburn.com today. War Eagle.
Follow Brownie on Twitter and Instagram at Ryan Brown Live. Jim Dunaway, Lance Taylor, Ryan Brown, live from the Birmingham Racecourse Casino Studios. The Next Round, presented by Bud Light, is on now.
Hey, another fun day in the NFL carousel of players. Sit down for this one. Aaron Rodgers' decision may take a while. Didn't happen yesterday. We'll get to the NFL coming up a little bit later on. We're just a few days away from the start of the baseball season. Can you imagine leaving $500 million on the table to bet on yourself? We'll get to that. We'll talk about Tiger's injury. Is his career over with? But we start with basketball. It's the start of the SEC tournament today up in Nashville. We will be there later on. All of our coverage in Nashville being brought to you by a couple of folks, including our friends at Vulcan Tire and Automotive. They've got us covered up there.
Yeah, locations throughout Birmingham. Stop in, see the guys there. Another one of these sponsors that I feel like I'm at every couple of weeks. But just fantastic, guys. Before you hit the road, if you're going up to Nashville this weekend, or you're going on spring break in a couple of weeks, make sure you take the rig by, get it checked bumper to bumper. They do it all. For more information, VulcanTireAndAuto.com.
Terrific people there, and they'll have our coverage. Don't forget, 9 to 12 Friday, if you're up there for the Auburn and Alabama game. Auburn plays at 12 noon. You can come by and see us. We'll be at the Cellar live 9 to 12. Just off Broadway, just down from Bridgestone, easy walking distance. The Cellar, 9 to 12. We're there with our friends at Kickin' at Coolers. Come by and see us. Today, 4 games. First one out of the gate, South Carolina, Arkansas. Arkansas in the tournament, pretty comfortably, Brown, but you don't want to lose this game.
You do not. You don't want to give two things. You don't want to give any committee member reason to doubt you if you're on the bubble, which I don't really think they are. Could they be in Dayton, though? Do you think is that like worst case if Arkansas loses?
I mean, if
today,
you were to
go
lose to South Carolina, it is
Yeah.
now a 4.5-point favorite. The number continues to stretch out. I would.
Who's the favorite? Arkansas, right?
Yeah.
Okay,
Oh, yeah,
okay,
yeah,
okay. Yeah.
But I'm saying if you lose that game against South Carolina, I mean, there's a chance. I guess they could be.
Yeah, I mean that's the thing. Like they're in the tournament, but you do not want to go to Dayton. That is.
I don't even want to lose this game to even get into a precarious situation where something crazy could happen. I think we had 7 bid stealers last year. We're not to that point yet.
I think you'll start seeing it, though.
Yeah, I mean, there'll be some bid stealers.
You know, in South Carolina, or excuse me, Arkansas was the team that started 0-5 in conference play. Remember, they were dead and buried.
Yep.
I do think that not only obviously they're playing better basketball, but Calipari helps the brand.
That's right. That's right. You want him in the show. The next game, the end of the afternoon session, game 2 today, is bubble implications all over this one. Texas trying to get into the conversation of being in the big dance. Vandy trying to stop the oil leak running out. Texas and Vandy game 2 here. Must win for Texas even to keep hope alive. Vandy, you don't want to lose this one.
No. I mean, it's a must-win for Texas, not a must-win for Vandy, but I could see a scenario again where Vandy's in Dayton. I mean, you know, I guess I've never really been crazy about these Dayton games.
Yeah.
I do like the fact that when we first got them, they were 16 seeds.
Yeah.
And they've at least now given us 12 and 11 seeds. What?
I can't remember an SEC team being up there. I'm sure it's happened.
Where, in Dayton?
In Dayton. Can you remember an SEC team in Dayton? I can't, off the top of my head.
I mean, was the year that Ole Miss won a couple of games under Andy Kennedy when they had Marshall?
They went. You think
maybe?
They went to,
I remember they beat Wisconsin in the legitimate first round.
Yeah,
but they might have been a Dayton team. But yeah, I don't remember. But you know, Vanderbilt's also one of these teams that we talk about. You know, Vanderbilt's lost 2 straight games to unranked teams, and if they were to lose a 3rd straight game to an unranked team, you know, it gets a little precarious for Vanderbilt as well.
I agree.
Lenardi has them as an 11 seed right now, but you start, you know, again.
Yeah, 11 is not far from being out.
And it's not far from being in Dayton. They're not an 11 in Dayton, but there are 2 other 11s in Dayton. So if that's where you really are, if Lenardi were the committee and you're one of these 11s and they're just like, okay, Vandy lost, let's just flip those. That's the difference in being at a tournament site or being in Dayton, where you could easily be one and done and you don't even play a Thursday game or a Friday game.
Look, I think Texas has probably already had the kill shot. I mean, they've lost 7 of 9.
Yeah.
I mean, not only would they have to beat Vanderbilt, they got to beat A&M. They might have to win a game after that. But if they lose, you know, I mean, what do you? Rodney Terry's getting fired.
No, that's it. That's the big storyline.
Yeah. Do you even play in the NIT when you're going through a transitional situation with the coach?
No, you fire the coach on the spot and you tell your team. I'm a firm believer in this. Like if you're a high-end program, now there's 2 schools of thought. Like because I remember when North Carolina played UAB down here at Bartow Arena in the NIT, and I firmly believe that was Roy Williams. This is.
Oh, yeah, it was a favor.
Well, it was a favor, one, but I also think it was Roy Williams trying to show his team this is how the other half lives.
Yeah.
And if y'all guys want to live down here, you keep playing like you played this last year. We'll live down here in the NIT.
Did you ever, growing up straight or whatever, where they would take, like, juvenile delinquents to...
Scared Straight.
Scared Straight, yeah. Growing up straight.
Different show.
Yeah, that is totally different show on the Learning Channel. But Scared Straight, when they would take the guys to inmates that are incarcerated... And they would let them just get in their face, yell, "Hey, you want to be here for life?" You know, that's That's scaring North Carolina.
Yeah, it
straight
is. I
back
mean,
in the
if
day.
you guys want to play in the NIT, this is how we do it. And it's a lot easier, by the way, to get in this tournament than it is in the NCAA tournament. So y'all just keep giving half effort. But if I'm a top level program, I tell the NIT we don't play in the NIT. Period. End of sentence. That's not who we are. Now, to answer your question, a lot of people in the chat room are saying Mississippi State has played in Dayton. Several people saying that. Jay says it was 2023. Zach says it was Jan's first year, so that would be very recent that they were.
Yeah, that was
2023 is
2023.
recent,
Yep.
yeah.
Lamb I Believer says Tennessee under Conzo Martin played in Dayton.
Really?
Uh-huh.
I don't remember that one.
I don't remember Jan's being there.
Again, Dayton's not really memorable. Like, you'll
That's
have
right.
the VCU that will leave Dayton and go on a Final Four run. You remember those teams, but outside of that, I mean, who do you really remember that was in Dayton?
Very, very little.
So that's the day session. Night session tonight, LSU and Chris Jan's Mississippi State team. They haven't been playing their best basketball as of late, but we'll see what Mississippi State can do. They're a dangerous team. And then the nightcap, Oklahoma and Georgia. LT has some thoughts on Georgia maybe being hot right now. They're easily in the tournament. But there's Porter Moser again of Oklahoma. Everywhere I read and remembering back to last year's tournament, Oklahoma in the Big 12 then, they looked to be in the NCAA tournament until we had all the bids that got stolen. And they got shuffled out at the end of last year where they weren't in the NCAA tournament. And here they are again, almost in the same situation. They could use a win tonight, too, Oklahoma and Georgia.
Did you guys realize the last time Georgia was in the NCAA tournament?
Was it the tornado?
No, it wasn't that far back.
Oh, okay.
I mean, they haven't been a ton.
Oh, by the way, since you bring up the tornado, Jeff Goodman from the Field of 68, I heard him on an interview yesterday.
Don't say it's coming to Nashville.
It is.
He said, this is my first time to be at the SEC tournament since the tornado season in Atlanta when Georgia won it all. And then what's the forecast Saturday in Nashville is horrible storms.
Well, so they were talking about that in the chat because somebody said Lance's prophecy could come true with Georgia because they are forecasting
and
tornadoes.
this is Goodman's first tournament back since that tornado game.
He hasn't been to the
Georgia
SEC
Dome.
that
I was
long.
talking to a very weather-aware person on the way into work today, and they were like, man, you need to, because I was going to ask you, would Alabama-Auburn championship keep you in Nashville till Sunday?
Well, no, because we've got to show at Odie's. You and I at least have to be back. What time are we at Odie's? 4 to 6?
I'll tell you right now. Hold on.
We're at Odie's in Homewood 4 to 6 on Selection Sunday. Jim and Taylor could still be in Atlanta in Nashville.
Yeah.
If Alabama and Auburn are playing. I don't know why
Yep,
you'd be in Atlanta.
It is 4 to 6.
So my
With that said,
Sunday morning is probably my latest return.
I was talking about the Odie show on Sunday, so I was like, we're going to be coming back on Saturday from Nashville, and they're like, be really, really careful.
Well, that's one reason I'm thinking about staying until Sunday is I really don't want to travel in that. And I know I'll be there at least. I was thinking about maybe doing the Saturday games and coming home. But, I mean, if I'm driving through that, I'd rather just stay in Nashville. Yeah. Definitely be aware around here. They are calling for severe tornadoes around here. I don't think it's as bad in Nashville as it is here. But it only takes one. Like, if you got 30 and it doesn't hit you and one hits you, does it matter how many you had, right?
Back to it, Georgia has not been to the NCAA tournament since 2015, so it's been a decade.
2015, was that Mark Fox?
I think it was Mark Fox.
Yeah. Gosh.
Not Tom Crean. Crean never got him.
I don't think Crean ever took them, did he?
Hard to imagine he coached there. Sort of pops off.
Jim, it is such. Don't you find that to be an odd job?
Yeah.
Georgia?
It should be so good.
Like, wouldn't you think you could just recruit 3 really good Atlanta players every year?
Yeah, I would
It'd be
just follow
fine?
AAU and just pay their players
Like-
as much as you can.
Well, I mean, you have elite AAU teams over there, right?
I was about to say, do you know how big Atlanta is?
Well, I mean, Jabari Smith at Auburn got stolen from Georgia.
Well, I
the
just
state
know
of
Georgia Tech, under Bobby Crimmins. And then even after that, oh, my God, who was the coach who got them to where they lost? Paul Hewitt.
Yep.
Lost in the national championship game to
That's
UConn.
right. To UConn. I mean, I don't know, man. Georgia it's a baffling bad job to me. I've never really understood why nobody can consistently win at Georgia when you are an hour's drive from Atlanta, where I would just think you could go pluck the 3 good players out of it. You don't have to get the 3 best.
Well, I mean, the fact of the matter is the high school football and baseball is so good in that state.
Yeah.
The basketball is equal, right?
It's got to be.
Yeah.
And as big a city
just
as
got great
Atlanta
high
is,
school athletes.
Yeah, as big a city as Atlanta is, you can't tell me there's not 4
The
or
whole
5
state.
good basketball players. Crean never made the tournament. In fact, Crean never finished better than 10th in the SEC in his time in Athens. Yeah.
Hey, 10th in the SEC this year.
That would have had him in.
Pretty good stuff.
That's right.
All right, so that's day one of the SEC tournament. We'll talk about everything else going on in basketball after we tell you about a couple of our great sponsors. Since we're speaking about the Storms, our buddy Greg from Pell City and Storm Restoration Roofing, he wanted me to remind you guys today to be weather aware this weekend, especially that big storm system that's coming in on Saturday with major implications. Just remind you that number right there, put that number in your phone, write it on the refrigerator, commit it to memory, 205-542-3531, 542-3531, or Greg from Pell City on Facebook. Storm Restoration Roofing, locally owned. You can trust him. If you have any issues at all, Greg says call him, and either he or one of the team will be there to help, and they will get you through the process of what you need to do if you have any storm damage. And I didn't really know this, and I've known, how long have we known Greg now? Long time.
Lord have mercy.
Yeah, 15 years.
Yeah, and I never knew this, but he says you never mentioned that I also have a builder's license. I can rebuild part of your home too.
I never knew that about Greg. Why do you never mention that, Joe?
I guess I never made it that far down in my copy. So he's got a builder's license.
I might have a job for Greg.
Yeah, so I mean, he literally can do anything when it comes to storm damage, roof repairs, not just roofs there. Storm Restoration Roofing, 205-542-3531, and he's local, A-plus rated with the Better Business Bureau. Greg from Pell City. Show also today being brought to you by the wonderful folks at Michelson Laser Vision. Tell us about Michelson.
Literally texting Greg. 205-969-8100.
Can you build a dog kennel that dogs cannot escape from?
That is the number that I called. By the way, Chili did escape again. Just on the couch.
Dog prison.
Yeah, I got to do something. I don't know what to do.
The Supermax of kennels.
Of dogs.
205-969-8100, the number that I called more than 2 decades ago. Ask for Amy Toe. The next round sent you. She is going to hook you up with a hassle-free consultation. You have 0 to lose to find out if LASIK is right for you. Dr. Mort Michelson, Dr. Jen Michelson, best in the business, conveniently located UAB Highlands. For more information, go online. Go to michelsonlaservision.com.
Later on, if I can get cut number 3 from Hey Coach this week, talking Alabama basketball. Later on, CBS Sports sent out a 10 things you need to know before you start filling out your bracket Sunday. The number one biggest concern that you need to know about your bracket involves Alabama. We'll talk about it later in the show.
What are you doing?
Later in the show. Chris Stewart talking with Nate Oates here on Hey Coach, Crimson Tide Sports Network. Gets asked about Grant Nelson, how he played down at Auburn, and then the possibility of getting Darian Reed back, McDonald's All-American, who hasn't played in a long, long time, has been dealing with that injury that hasn't been back in the lineup. Here's Nate Oates on Nelson and the possibility of getting Darian Reed back.
Yeah, no, I thought he was really good. I mean, that's the best he's played in a while, maybe since the road game at Kentucky. If we can get him playing like that, we could beat anybody in the country. So we need to keep him going like that. Now he's a little banged up from the game. Yeah, I mean, we need him ready to go Friday. Playing 3 straight is going to be tough, but we did it. We had Darian in practice today. I thought he looked all right, in limited role. So hopefully we'll be able to get him back for some, even if the minutes are just limited because he's been out so long, just give us something to play a little bit deeper in those 3 straight games.
Yeah, planning on 3 there. I don't know how quickly you could find the last time Darian Reed got any minutes at all. So if you can check that out. But, you wonder, LT, for the Auburn, Tennessee, Florida, Alabama folks, do you want to win three games? Do you want to play all 3 days? Nate's talking about he's got a 3-day plan there, and I'm sure you had Steven on earlier this week. He talked about wanting to reset Auburn after those 2 losses last week. It does seem like these guys go in there with the attitude of playing 3 games.
Yeah, I mean, I guess you have to go in with the attitude, hey, we're going to win. There's a championship in front of us. Talking to Aaron Suttles yesterday on Bama and Bourbon, he's got the belief that Brown does. Committee doesn't pay attention to this tournament. I do think there's something to play for. Because if Alabama or Florida wins this, how are they not your 4th number 1 seed?
Well, I mean, maybe they are, but that would seem awful late in the game to only be. But you would just go from 1 to 2.
So Auburn, Duke, Houston. You've
right.
got to have a fourth number one.
That's right.
Yeah.
And so what do you base it on? I think it's got to be based on this weekend.
Well, I think they base it on the regular season. That's always been my point. I don't think they base it on one weekend. I think they base it on your full body of work, which is
okay. I think it is the full body of work, and rarely.
But
do you
this is
get-
part of the body of work.
That's right. Rarely do you get this
But-
tournament with this many Q1 games
Right.
that could still
it
impact
could.
your body of work.
It could, but would would one game impact the entire? And I know it would mean you've beaten them 2 out of 3 times, but that's not the end all be all either. They don't just look at head to head; they look at a lot of
But
things.
let's say that Tennessee, which it's not, but let's say Tennessee was that 4th team right now. If they lose in the semis and Alabama or Florida wins the SEC tournament, winning 2 more games, how would that team not jump in front of
Yeah,
Tennessee?
like I personally think it's Florida first.
I agree. You're saying you think Florida starts this week on the one line in the committee's mind?
They are the
Yes.
4th one.
I agree, and I think
And Alabama's next.
I agree.
And then Tennessee,
I
right?
think you've got the correct order.
So, and Auburn's the number 1 overall. So if Tennessee were to beat Auburn like Alabama just did, well, I gotta factor that in my big picture,
It's
right?
one data, as they
one-
like to they
it's-
talk data points.
it
It's
is-
one data point
That's
of
right. No important than
hundreds.
No important than Alabama beating them this last week.
That's right,
Not
yeah.
because it's in the semifinals, if that's what it is. Doesn't mean any more than Alabama doing it last week. But now if Alabama has, they've beaten Kentucky, and then if they were to beat Florida,
Yeah.
okay, now that's not bigger than Florida beating Alabama on Alabama's home floor in one single data, but it is another data point.
It is, yeah.
and-
I'm just saying I don't think they view the, and I'm not saying you're saying this, Lance. I don't think they view, let's say Tennessee beats Florida, any more important because it happened in March than if it happened in January. You
That's
see what
right.
I'm saying?
Oh, no, yeah, I
I
don't.
know. What you're saying is that would give Tennessee 2 out of 3 against Florida, and that would have to matter for something.
Well, I just think when you talk about the body of work, it's incomplete right now because the body of work has not been done.
And I think what has happened here is it's a rare situation, Brown. I usually 100% agree with you on this tournament
No,
thing.
I have said that we've never seen a tournament like this.
Yeah. The fact of the matter is it's 3 teams from the same conference for one spot, and they all are very close with Florida, Alabama, Tennessee in that order. But they have enough quality games in Nashville that could, sort of put you on top of that pack in one form or fashion. Tennessee would have to do a lot more than, say, Alabama would, and Florida just has to do a little bit to hold on to it.
Well, and on the other side of that, truth be known, well, I'll hold this for later. I think it's something you're probably going to get to later is the headache the SEC is giving the committee.
Yeah.
I think that can impact some of these other decisions too.
But I don't think Auburn can lose the number 1 overall seed. I just can't do that. And I know Stephen Pearl on our show, go watch the whole interview, is still,
And I disagree with
wringing
that,
his
but-
hands about this. But the Q1s, the whole season, which is what you have to factor in, compared to what Duke has done, who they beat and how they've beaten them, it's not even close. It's not close.
Oh, I agree. But if Duke is to win, again, body of work's not done. If they to win the ACC tournament and Auburn doesn't win the SEC, that means Auburn's got 2 more losses. Duke has won a regular season
No,
championship.
they only have 1 loss, not double elimination, right?
No, I'm saying they would have 2 more losses than Duke.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, 2 more total losses than Duke, and Duke won the head-to-head. And it's the Duke brand. Look, I think if you, even watching that Auburn-Duke game in Cameron, you could make the argument coming out of that, well, Auburn lost the game, but they felt like the better team.
Yeah.
Kind of like Alabama against Tennessee and Knoxville.
I would just say, though, to Stephen's point yesterday, Stephen Pearl's point, Duke is in all likelihood going to select Newark, New Jersey for their region.
So it wouldn't matter.
I mean, that's what he maintained is, does it even really matter? Like, all it really would change is a couple teams in the path. Like Auburn would still go to Lexington, would still go to Atlanta as the number 2 overall seed. If, in fact, Duke chooses Newark, New Jersey. And I would think they would, wouldn't you?
I would, yeah.
I mean, that's like where most of their students come from. It's
Yep.
the old joke is New Jersey's like, you're a student at Duke, yeah, what exit? I mean, that's the old joke about Duke students because so many of them come from New Jersey.
Right, and I think there's also something about Duke saying, we want to go to Lexington.
So I would say that I would say that it, in the grand scheme of things, probably does not matter. Boy, I had not considered that, though. You could have Duke, Auburn, and Alabama in Lexington, couldn't you? That's a heck of a region right there.
Yeah. I mean, that's.
I mean, they put two ones together
before they start spreading them out.
Yeah.
And that's normally those first round destinations. We talked about the perfect storm 2 years ago here in Birmingham, but how crazy! Like I've heard these tickets in Nashville this weekend. I don't know if you guys have. I haven't talked to our friends at ATIX yet, but I heard the tickets are insane. So if you had Auburn, Duke, and Alabama in one region.
You won't. Let me correct myself. There is a region in Raleigh. That's where Duke will be.
Okay.
I forgot about that. That's my apologies on that.
But there is a chance for the third straight year Alabama and Auburn could end up in the same place for the first two rounds.
I think it's a given.
Cleveland. I think Cleveland's in the mix. Is Cleveland a destination? I just dreamed that.
It is a destination. Okay. Why do you think it's in the mix?
I just think.
You have some insight?
I just think it's in the mix.
I mean, just tell me. You don't have to. Is that gut or is that insight?
It could be little. It could be a little insight.
Okay. I think Alabama fans want to know that. So, all right.
Yeah, could be a little insight, but you don't know until Sunday, right? You don't know.
If you're the number 2 overall seed, I don't know why they wouldn't send you to Lexington. It's not like that's playing in the backyard,
right?
But here.
I mean, if you're not the number 2 overall, if you're the number 5 overall, the top number 2.
Richard Hendrix in the next segment to talk about the actual games on the court, but Yahoo Sports did something that we were discussing earlier this week, and I just thought it was really interesting on some of the headaches that the SEC can cause the selection committee. And so they've done this interview. And
Jim's going to the glasses.
Yeah,
This is
serious. I want to read it word for word. So I want to put my news reading glasses on here.
President Kennedy.
Okay, so it's an unprecedented number. If they get 11, it ties the record, 12, 13, possibly 14 in play. The more NCAA tournament bids that the SEC receives, the tougher it'll be for the selection committee to adhere to its bracketing principles, not rules, it points out.
I noticed that is a certain change in the wording there. Principles are different than rules.
Opening round matchups between teams from the same conference are flatly forbidden.
Okay, so that is a rule.
Those matchups are also avoided whenever possible in the round of 32 and the Sweet 16.
It will not be possible this year, probably. Yeah.
And this is from David Warlock, the NCAA media coordinator for March Madness. They'll try to avoid having teams from the same conference meet as much as possible, but the first priority is keeping everyone on their true seed line. So they'll try to manipulate it. They can't face SEC versus SEC in round 1. But from 32 on, there's only principles that we've discussed many times on the show. But those are not hard, fast rules. That their main goal is to try to keep 2s on 2s, 3s on 3s, 4s on 4s.
Well, I mean, look, mathematically, if you have 14 in this, it's going to be really difficult not to have a second-round matchup.
That's right.
But I do think, and this is what I was referencing earlier because I wondered if you would get to this, I do think that might hurt it. I mean, you would hate to think this, but if you've got, I don't know, let's pick 2 teams, Texas and Indiana, and they are blind resume, I can't tell the difference. And then somebody's like, guys, B is Texas, and that will be the 14th SEC team we put in or the 13th or whatever, and you know what a headache this is going to be for us.
Yep.
A is Indiana. That's only the 10th Big Ten team. We can manage that a lot more. And then somebody's like, are we really going to do it this way? And then somebody in the room says, guys, neither one of them have shown you they want to be in this tournament. Texas lost to South Carolina just 2 weeks ago. We're not going to put them in our tournament. It's going to give us a headache. I mean, could you see those types of discussions happening? Like, could you see that discussion where, like, Texas is going to create a seeding headache for us?
Yeah,
I mean,
I could see that.
And neither Texas or Indiana has proven they even want to be in this thing.
Yeah, look, Texas is, and especially if they lose today, they've lost 8 of 10.
Yeah, that's right.
We're going to have to change traditionally the way we've done this.
We're going to have to go from rules to principles just because of Texas. Guys, if we just put Indiana in, it solves a lot of these issues.
Yep.
Our Alexander Shannara trial attorney's question today, Brown, is what does the SEC have to do to be impressive in this NCAA tournament with so many bids? Tell us about Alexander Shannara.
Yeah, so you know Alexander Shannara Trial Attorneys, a national firm with Southern roots, headquartered right here in Birmingham, has been doing this for a long time. Might not know it's 24 years they've been doing it. They've grown to 150 lawyers, more than 500 dedicated team members, and they not only handle any personal injury claim, but claims for fire and storm damage, bad drug and device claims, disability, workers' comp, and a host of other claims. Alexander Shannara Trial Attorneys, Shannara.com. If you find yourself in need of a lawyer, Shannara.com, you pay nothing unless they win your case.
According to Yahoo, again, one more fact from them. According to all the metrics, the best regular season by a conference wasn't the Big East that year. 11 bids. By scoring margin, competition of play, all of that, the best two conferences ever was 1997 ACC and 2024 Big 12. So last year's Big 12 and 1997 ACC. They sent a combined one team to the Elite Eight.
That's why, I don't know how you can. This is where the argument gets interesting. I know there's out of conference play early in the season,
right?
But you can have these great, the optics of a year in conference can look incredible. And going back to that Big East, we pulled it from 11-12, and only one team made it past the Sweet 16. How can it be historical years in these conferences if you don't do anything when it only matters?
Yep, you're absolutely right. That's where it's determined.
Yep. So you got to get there. But the two best leagues ever, according to all the metrics, 97 ACC and then last year Big 12, a combined one team in the Elite Eight.
That's pretty crazy.
I will stick to it. The greatest season in conference history was 1985 when you had three Big East teams get to a Final Four. It matters about what you do in March.
And that's the way we remember it. We'll talk about the games on the court with Richard Hendrix in our next segment. The show being brought to you today by our friends at New York Butcher Shop. All through March, you can swing by New York Butcher and grill up something great outside to watch the madness. New York Butcher Shop, LT.
Yep, two great locations for you. The original, Cava Heights, Highway 119 in Greystone. Pick up a couple of steaks on your way home. If you're looking for big-time lunch, stop in, get those huge deli sandwiches for lunch or dinner, inside or outside on that patio. The fantastic, freshly prepared side dishes in-house. Great selection of fine wines and desserts as well. Get in and see our good friend Jim, those great butchers. New York Butcher Shop, two locations, rare quality, well-done service, the New York Butcher Shop.
Call the next round now at 205-734-0923.
I'm attorney Alexander Shannara, Alabama born, Alabama raised, and ready to fight for your rights. I have one of the largest firms in Alabama, and we are here to help you get the compensation you deserve. Call me, Alabama, 323-1000.
Your representation is made that the quality of legal services being performed is greater than those of other lawyers.
Storm season is here. Make sure you have a plan of action in place right now. Greg from Pell City and Storm Restoration Roofing should be your first call when storms hit. Insurance companies love working with Storm Restoration Roofing because of Greg Nelson's name and reputation in the industry. When storms hit, call Greg Nelson. He's local, 205-542-3531. He's the home of the free no-cost roof inspection. Greg from Pell City on Facebook, 205-542-3531. It's Storm Restoration Roofing.
Twin Peaks is the best in the game. Here, you're in the red zone for every college rivalry and divisional matchup all season long. I mean, where else are the scenic views as good as your view of the game? Only at Twin Peaks, the #1 sports bar.
This hour of The Next Round is presented by the Birmingham Racecourse Casino, now featuring 7 days of giveaways with your chance to win a share of up to $125,000. The more you visit the Birmingham Racecourse Casino, the more chances you have to win.
Hey, let me tell you about our friends at Urology Centers of Alabama. Compassionate and comprehensive urological care with 35 physicians, 17 locations across Alabama. Their patient-centered approach to all of your urological needs. Remember, they've got that new men's health center. It is beautiful, helping men with a wide range of sensitive male issues in a comfortable environment. You can always go online, visit urologycentersalabama.com, schedule an appointment with one of their many urologists today.
Let's face it, a home is one of the most powerful assets you can have, and our friends at Mortgage Right want to help you build wealth through home ownership. Mortgage Right is all about providing competitive rates, a variety of loan products, and a multitude of resources for a seamless home buying experience. They treat their borrowers like family and are always looking to bring more happy homeowners under their roof. See more by visiting mortgageright.com/TNR today and start living. That's mortgageright.com/TNR. NMLS 2239, equal housing lender. When you crave activity like we do, you belong in the Roback family. Get the best golf wear, hoodies, and activewear for men and women at Roback.com. Use promo code TNR20 to get 20% off your order. That's Roback.com, promo code TNR20. What a great time of year to be online with our friends at mybookie.ag, mybookie.ag, where right now you get a major current sign-up bonus, a 50% deposit bonus up to $1,000, plus a $10 casino chip when using the code NEXTROUND. That's code NEXTROUND. We're talking about all the madness of March, the NBA playoff race, the start of Major League Baseball, and it's all for you right now online when using the code NEXTROUND. Go sign up today, mybookie.ag, code NEXTROUND.
It's bow time. Tired of choosing between sweet and savory? Why not have both? Introducing Bojangles' new chicken and bowberry waffles. The bold Cajun chicken filet you love, now drizzled with a bowberry honey glaze and sandwiched between two warm waffles. Which means your favorite meal of the day just met your new favorite dish. And lucky for you, it's served all day. But it's only here for a limited time, so try chicken and bowberry waffles at Bojangles today. It's bow time.
I'm attorney Alexander Shinar, Alabama born, Alabama raised, and ready to fight for your rights. I have one of the largest firms in Alabama, and we are here to help you get the compensation you deserve. Call me, Alabama, 323-1000.
No representation is made that the quality of legal services being performed is greater than those of other lawyers.
Back with you on the next round. MyBookie brings you part of the show today and the betting lines for the 4 SEC tournament games today in Nashville as we get the show started, Browning.
Yeah, we're about to talk about those games with Richard Hendrix. You can play those games at mybookie.ag. Code next round right now gets you that sign-on bonus of 50% in the sportsbook up to $1,000. That's up to $1,000, 50% sign-on bonus, and also a $10 casino chip you can play with right there at mybookie.ag. Code next round. Bet anything, anytime, anywhere. Mybookie.ag. Arkansas Razorbacks, a 4.5-point favorite over South Carolina today in the SEC basketball tournament. The Texas Longhorns and Vanderbilt. Vandy is a 2.5 point favorite in that game in the SEC. Mississippi State, an 8.5-point favorite over LSU tonight in a big game for them. And the Georgia Bulldogs, a 4-point favorite over the Oklahoma Sooners. That's all at mybookie.ag. Code next round. Richard Hendrix joins us now. Richard is out in Fort Worth, where he'll be on the ESPN call of the American Athletic Conference tournament involving UAB. We'll touch some on that. First of all, how are you, Richard? You good?
Doing great, guys. Doing great. Hey, it's March, so, I always love this time of the season. It's the best time when it's conference tournament time, so I'm excited.
That's right. I'm sure you do. So let's talk about mindset of teams going into the SEC tournament, because it is common for fans to say, I wouldn't mind if we get out early and get focused for the NCAA tournament. You've played in these things. You're already shaking your head no. Why do coaches and players not think that way?
It's a loser's mentality, first off. I think in anything that you're in, you should want to try to win the game. I mean, you got an opportunity to play for a championship. I can remember in 2008 when I played in the SEC tournament, Georgia was one of the last place teams in the league. We had a tornado that hit the Georgia Dome when I was playing in that game, and Georgia was able to run off, I believe, 4 wins in 3 days to make the NCAA tournament. That group can look back at this and say that they are SEC champions after being one of the worst teams in the league all season long. This is an opportunity that you have new life and you have a moment to be able to do so, to be a champion. And Auburn was able to win the regular season, but you got another 15 teams that have an opportunity to win.
So now, in opposed to having to win 4 straight, you got to win 5 straight if you're one of these guys, one of these 8 teams playing today. Do you see any of these 8 teams that could make a deep run? I'm not saying win this tournament in Nashville, but any of these teams that could make a deep run?
Well, I think obviously you have strong teams throughout the entire league, but the team that I've looked at, the team that's not going to be playing on the first couple of days or has the double bye is Kentucky. Kentucky is a team that obviously in the SEC tournament, they will come loaded with Big Blue Nation in Nashville. That will create a home court advantage. But they've started to get healthier. Now, Jackson Robinson had a wrist injury. I believe he had surgery. He'll be out. But Lamont Butler seems to be getting a little bit healthier. And the reality about their team throughout the course of this season was that they were beat up all year long. Maybe not the conference record that people would expect from the Wildcats, but when you get healthy at the right time, you have the revenge factor that they would have, particularly again to play Alabama if they're able to win their first game. They've beaten you twice. Then they can start to get some momentum to make a push. That's, of course, outside of those top teams that we all see in the top 5 nationally.
My co-host on the basketball show, Taylor Korn, says Arkansas would be the toughest opponent for Auburn in their first game. And we made a point because of when they lost Boogie Fland, their perimeter defense really good, and they did a good job at Neville guarding the Auburn guards. How does that change? How did Arkansas change when they lost one of the more dynamic players?
Well, a lot of times when you do lose a player, everyone else picks up their level of play because you don't have to be concerned if you're going to be coming out of the game. You also know that the team will need your production and statistical output. So it allows players to be a little bit more comfortable. Arkansas has been a team that hasn't shot the ball well this season, but physically, this is a team that can go toe-to-toe with anyone in the league athletically. I look at the top side of that back bracket, and I say with Auburn, Arkansas, Ole Miss, potentially Tennessee, Texas A&M. That's going to be the physical side of this bracket. Those are the teams that have the ability to ground and pound. They can be tough under the boards, not necessarily high-octane offensive teams, but that's going to be the half that's going to be a slugfest. You go to the bottom with Kentucky and Alabama and Florida, Missouri. Those teams like to get up and down and score points in bunches. The question's going to be which type of style is going to allow you to sustain in the SEC tournament. Having that type of style that can play finesse, or is the power ball going to help? I think Auburn obviously got worn out last year, struggled in that NCAA tournament game. I would lean towards the teams that can get point production without having to grind it out. If they can continue to shoot the ball well, then in this tournament, it'll help you for the long run.
Boy, he makes it sound like the day games will be Band-Aids and the night games will be Powerades.
It quite possibly could be. I mean, you're talking about teams that can play at slower paces. Arkansas is going to crash the offensive glass. You know, Texas A&M will do the same. Tennessee will grind you out defensively and just smother you. Auburn has the ability to play both ways, but we've seen Florida, we've seen Alabama, Missouri. They're trying to score 100 points, as well as Kentucky. And that type of style, I think, will be a little bit more entertaining to the people who are there checking out those games. But it's going to be about which one of those styles will allow you to prevail over this 5-day stretch of tough games.
Richard Hendrix is with us. You'll see him on ESPN this weekend from the American Tournament. He is also on the SEC Network. He is with us on the Alexander Shinara Trial Attorney Hotline. As we continue to talk about the SEC Tournament, we brought this stat up, Richard. The top 3 rebounding teams in the Southeastern Conference are Alabama, Florida, and Texas A&M. And Auburn is 1-3 against those teams and get out-rebounded in each of those losses. You don't run up against teams that rebound. You don't run up all the time against teams that rebound like that. But how big of a concern is that once you enter – they could play Texas A&M, we just mentioned it, or even once you enter the NCAA tournament?
Well, I think the important thing is to look a little deeper into what kind of rebounds are they and when are they getting them at certain points of the game. I don't really, as a person who is a rebounder, I don't count these empty, non-contested rebounds that people get. I don't even think they should count it in the professional ranks when you see no one crashing the O boards and it's just one guard getting the rebound and starting the break. So if you look into it, Alabama oftentimes is at their best offensively when they can get multiple shots at it. With their offensive rebounding. Texas A&M is another one that's going to crash. Auburn's just going to have to make sure to limit those rebounds and not allow them to get those multiple times at it on the offensive set, because if you will make those teams execute and score with one shot, and particularly if you can make teams score longer in the shot clock, the percentages go down for them to be able to convert. Auburn's been struggling, as you mentioned, as of late. I don't know if it's going to be something as a matter of injuries or just fatigue, but they have the personnel that can regroup. They're a strong team. They played good basketball all season long, and I look for them to try to find some type of energy and bounce back after the last loss they had to Alabama.
Auburn, Duke, Houston locked in as 1 seeds, that final 1 seed. If it's Alabama, Florida, or Tennessee cutting the nets down on Sunday, is that your final 1 seed?
It would be for me. I think Florida, as of right now, has done enough to deserve that number 1 seed. But I think Alabama's big win that they had on the road in Auburn was something that really brought them into this conversation to get back on the 1 line. They slipped up in these last 6 games that they had against these top teams to really solidify that earlier. But Florida has shown that they're a really good team. They've not had the challenge of other teams in the non-conference earlier this year. But their ability to play both ways, what I mean by that, they can get up and run, they can post you up with Alex Condon, they can power ball you with Ruben Chinyelu, Walter Clayton, Elijah Martin, Will Richard are three of the best guards in the entire country. And they're older, they're veterans, they're seniors. Those three guards will be huge down the stretch of the season. But if Alabama or Tennessee can get it done because of the quality wins they will pick up, I think that the SEC tournament champion should deserve a slot on that one line.
Texas A&M doesn't play until tomorrow. Man, we talk so much about the four teams that have the double byes. We've talked about Cal so much this year at Arkansas. We've talked so much about Kentucky, Missouri's resurgent. I don't feel like we've talked anything at all season long about Texas A&M, and they've been right there in the top 15 all year.
Been right there, and that's what it is when the strength of this. Ole Miss is another team that no one talks about that's been in the top 25, and they've just fallen out recently. That's a dangerous team with some veteran players. But you're right. I mean, Texas A&M, they have struggled to get it done. To me, they win some games that they shouldn't. They beat teams like Auburn's, but it's when they drop the games against the teams that are in the middle of the pack that has held them back from being in that upper echelon of the SEC in recent years. But Wade Taylor IV, really good player. He can fill it up in bunches. The physicality of those guys, Coleman under the boards, Anderson Garcia, they have bigs that can definitely make a difference in the game. The question is, in this type of tournament, when you have so many high-quality games, how will having good bigs and big depth and their ability to be able to bounce back from the physicality, how long can you sustain that? It's a different brand of basketball now. It's not the days where I played when everybody's posting up and crashing the offensive glass. But I'll tell you, when you play that way, it takes a toll. You have to be able to get some production in the outside. I always think this time of the year will be about the guards, and Texas A&M has some top guards.
All right, before you go, I'm going to ask you two Alabama X and O questions to pick a much smarter brain than I have. Darian Reed, Jim just mentioned that Nate Oates hinted that he could be back for this tournament. He has not played since the February 15th game at home against Auburn, so it would be a full month since he has played if he does play on Friday. If he can give you quality minutes, what does that do for this Alabama team?
It's huge. It gives you depth. It gives you an elite level athlete who is able to switch on so many different players defensively. It's a luxury that that you can go into your toolbox if something goes wrong. The issue he will have being a freshman, how much type of rust will he have, and will the environment be too much? But anytime you're adding length and athleticism, it helps you out defensively with defensive rebounds, ending possessions, being able to guard multiple positions. And it also allows them to put some of the weaker defenders on some weaker players. You look at some players like Mark Sears where you need his point production. Now when you have another defender that can take on those primary assignments, you can put him in different positions, and that will benefit them tremendously.
All right, X and O question number 2. If you got a version of Grant Nelson like you got Saturday, which of the other 4 positions would that most help for Alabama?
Oh, it definitely helps Mark Sears.
That was my answer.
It helps the guard position. Because to me, Grant Nelson is the X factor. Whenever he plays well, Alabama wins. What that does is they don't guard him when he shoots three-pointers on the outside. He has a set shot. He has a different type form, kind of shoots from the side of his head, takes his time with that, and they don't respect it. When you see when he hits 2 threes or so early in the game, now that opens up things for driving lanes for others because the defense has to respect him on the perimeter. He showed some toughness in the Auburn game. That big bucket that he showed on that post-up move against Janai Broome when I believe it was 77 all was the best bucket I've seen him. Forget all the dunks, forget all of the threes. That type of physicality is what you have, and he has the versatility to post up, be strong on the boards, and if he can hit outside shots, it's huge. And now we're only talking about one side of the ball, because if he plays well defensively, you got a rim protector, a guy who can switch on guards and clear out the possessions with rebounds. He's going to be the difference maker if Alabama can make a deep run. And if he can play at his top, just like he did last year in the NCAA tournament, then Alabama can make another deep run.
What kind of shot do AK and UAB have in the tournament you'll be calling the American out in Fort Worth?
No, I think they have a really good chance. Now, I will say this. Penny Hardaway in Memphis has been playing really good basketball. That's a team that I don't think gets the credit that they deserve. They should have been a little bit more of a higher considered team to be in the top 10 all season long. But what they perceive as the strength of the American Conference has not worked in their favor. But UAB is a strong team. Yaxel Lindeborg is a very physical player, has a nice feel to the game, and understands how to facilitate for his teammates. They have great guard play that can get it. Jabori is really good shooter from the outside. He's been playing really good basketball. If he can continue to shoot it from the outside, he's going to be a big factor for this team. But they have a chance. They have a chance. And obviously, if you know Andy Kennedy and what he did in the SEC, coming in at Ole Miss in his first year, I was there, won the West, wins the SEC, I believe around 2012 in the tournament. When you have a coach who can do that, particularly at a program like Ole Miss, who's only been to the NCAA tournament, this being their 10th time ever, you can't count him out. They won the tournament last year. Lindeberg was the MVP, went to the NCAA tournament, went to the NIT recent years. So the Blazers are a team to watch out for, and I think everyone in this tournament is concerned with them.
All right, you'll see Richard on that tournament on ESPN from the American, and his thoughts as well on the SEC Network on the SEC tournament. So he's a busy man right now. Richard, thank you very much for the time. Enjoy the stay in Fort Worth.
Thank you, guys.
All right, buddy. Talk to you soon. Richard Hendrix with us on the Alexander Shannara Trial Attorneys Hotline.
And we saw that Memphis team on the broadcast we did in Huntsville, a very physical team inside. If you're weak on the inside, you do not want any part of that Memphis team in the NCAA tournament draw. Dr. B, make sure that your hair is, if possible, if you're still young enough, younger than me, to get the hair growth back, Dr. B can make it happen. Just look at LT as living proof.
Hey, look, even if you're getting into your 40s, your 50s, even creeping up on 60, if you're just starting to thin out for the first time, hair follicles aren't dead yet. Dr. B can absolutely help you out. For more than 20 years, he's been doing that. Women and men have turned to Dr. Beckenstein for a range of cosmetic and reconstructive procedures. He will use that experience, his advanced training and genetic testing, to help his patients fully understand the procedures they are considering. Call Dr. B and that great staff today. Tell them the next round sent you. 205-319-0316. T3 has that new test. So easy, painless, affordable. Takes 4 seconds to perform. It's going to show which medicines and compounds will specifically work for your hair loss. You pick and choose which agents you want. Men and women ordering Hims, other products online, don't even know if they work. Stop wasting your money and critical time while you're losing hair on treatments that aren't working for you. Go see Dr. B and the great staff. Find out what will work for you. 205-319-0316 or again, t3hair.net.
And our friends at New Life Art, they bring you all the great works of Daniel A. Moore. Go to the website, danielmooreart.com, and check out the latest, which is the legend, Nick Saban, 6 national championships in Tuscaloosa, that beautiful work of art. Tribute to the Philadelphia Eagles that wore crimson and white, as they do a little roll, Eagles roll, with Jalen Devontae and Landon Dickerson there from those works. And the old stuff, the goal line stand, the reverse, bow over the top, all the great stuff that Daniel A. Moore's done. You get it all right there at danielmooreart.com. Rocky Block. That was the other one I had, Forrester, that I was trying to remember which two Daniel A. Moore pieces of work I had. Rocky Block was one I couldn't remember the other day. danielmooreart.com, promo code TNR to check it out. Brownie, before you give me your nugget, Richard, I've had this written on my sheet now for 5 days since I heard it for the first time, because LT loves Chris Beard. It's Ole Miss. They'll be in the tournament. Only their 10th time in 115 years of college basketball. This will be their 10th NCAA tournament.
Well, I'm going to let you guys pre-think about a 4 downs question.
Okay.
Because I am going to ask you currently in the SEC, how many programs have a better basketball than football coach? Because Ole Miss is one of them.
So, so when we talk, this is not my nugget.
This will be our 4th down, and we can take it over to another segment if you guys want.
Yeah, we may have to pull that over to another segment.
I've done mine, and I've got 3 categories. I've got definitely better basketball, definitely better football, or kind of undecided.
We're going to do 4 downs at the start of the next segment, so that's a whole segment. So
that's also
whatever we need to do there.
When we talk about how good Bruce Pearl has done at Auburn, we always say historically the 2 worst programs in this conference have been Ole Miss and Auburn. And that shows you just how bad Ole Miss has been.
Yeah.
10 NCAA tournament appearances.
This is their 10th time.
And as long as those 2 guys are there, I don't see those teams missing tournaments.
I agree completely with you. My nugget was going to be Richard Hendrix has gotten so exceptionally good at what he does. Like when Richard first started, he was good and he was coming on with us. But if you watch him in games,
he's fantastic.
And his analysis,
games, yeah.
I just wanted to compliment him. He has gotten so exceptionally good at what he does. And I think
Well, hard work, man. The guy does a ton of prep.
I mean, ton of prep. And I think he has got an extremely, extremely bright future at ESPN there. And he's a good dude, so I'm happy to see that.
Me too. All right, 4 bids went out last night. That includes me losing between 2 days. 2 days.
I haven't brought it up, but I've noticed.
Auburn, Alabama. And then yesterday I
haven't brought it up, but I've noticed.
And then I've lost every penny I had at mybookie.ag.
So you're a reload? You're a reload right now?
I'm down to $1.47. I've been to $1.98 before and worked it back up.
Well, if you'll get Maggie to sign up and use code next round, you get a 50% sign-on bonus up to $1,000 and a $10 casino chip.
Yeah, so $1.47 because, of course, I continue my tradition of money lining Alabama's opponent. Did not pay this time on Saturday, and I put a hefty amount on it. And then I put everything else I had in my account last night on a 2-team parlay.
Yeah, that was smart, Jim. Yeah, just empty your account on a 2-team parlay.
And one of them was Gonzaga minus 3.5. I was like, man, St. Mary's is so good. How is Gonzaga a 3.5-point favorite?
Oh, buddy.
They know something.
I had the Zags.
They know something. So I was
6-3 last night, Lance's line.
Yeah, I mean, that was not really particularly close if you watched the second half of that game. Gonzaga dominated that game.
I was like, yeah. And then I was so in on UNC Wilmington. There's no way Delaware could play well 5 straight days and have a losing record. And that dang team stayed in there until the end. They didn't. Wilmington won, but they didn't cover the 8.5.
It was funny because Wilmington was up 28-12.
Oh.
And then the next thing, I think it was like 31-31.
Yeah.
I mean, they went on a huge run.
Like that. And you know when I turned the TV on?
During that run?
Probably 28-12.
No, it wasn't 28-12, but they were up double digits, but it was in that run. I missed the 28-12 part. When I turned it on, I sat down with my little salad because I'm eating well.
That's right.
Sit down with my little
losing weight, losing money.
Grilled chicken salad.
Right.
Sit there, my Diet Coke, turn on my TV, and I'm like, up 10, man. Look at this UNC Wilmington team. And then that little one player. Delaware has one player. And he played his butt off.
Normally all it takes.
Huh?
Normally all it takes.
Yeah, Pasha or something like that.
Is Krusty right? Did St. Mary's go 0 of 16 from beyond the arc last night?
And I
watched the game.
I'm telling you do not want them in the tournament because they slow it down, and they're such a good perimeter defensive team. But
if they go 0 of 16, it doesn't matter.
Yeah. But Vegas knew something last night. Because I think St. Mary's beat them twice in the regular season.
That one was not close, my friend.
Not close. Every penny, except for $1.47. My bookie said not a dime back. Not a dime back last night. All right, we'll do 4 downs coming up at the top of the hour. One more thing to get to, but Lance just mentioned lanceslock.com. Lanceslock.com. Play all the conference tournaments, and then when the brackets release, he'll have you ready to go with the NCAA tournament. It's brought to you by our friends at Hemp Hill every day.
Great start to the week here in March. Jump on board, win with us against 6-3 last night. We've got 1 in the NBA, a free play every single day. 6 on the college hardwoods tonight. Actually, one of the games tipping at 11:30 in the Big 12. Jump on board, win with us. Always brought to you by our friends at Hemp Hill Services. Whether you experience plumbing, heating, or cooling issues in your home or business, they are ready to serve you. Call Adam, Chad, Andrew, the guys there. Tell them the next round sent you. 205-229-2090. Hard to stop a train. For more information, hemphillservices.com.
Vladimir Guerrero Jr. for the Toronto Blue Jays is 25. He'll be 26 on Sunday. Back in February, the Blue Jays offered him a $500 million deal to stay with Toronto, and he turned it down.
Who represents him? Is it Boris?
I'll see if I can find out.
Because, I knew you were getting to this, Dunaway, and the reason I ask is this is probably not a Vlad Guerrero thing. Of course, I think his dad used to represent himself.
Yeah, but I don't know if he represents himself or if his dad is in on the mix.
Because I'm just saying, whoever is making that decision, boy, you are banking on a lot.
He's to a 1-year contract, betting on himself now, but he turned down $500 million, 14 years, $500 million. He wanted $600 million. And the Blue Jays said 500 is all we can go. He turns it down, so he's betting on himself that he has a good year, he stays healthy, and he hits the free agent market, and will try to get more than $500 million.
Yeah, and Barry Praver and Scott Shapiro, so he's got 2 agents. Okay. So he needs the money. He's got to pay 2 agents.
Yeah. Well, I was going to say, and that's the kind of money where you're not looking out for yourself. You're not looking out for your kids. You're probably looking out for your kids' grandkids.
Yeah.
At that point, with that kind of generational wealth. But, man, if you have some kind of catastrophic injury.
God forbid.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's just too risky at that point.
I mean,
but you play a sport where you're standing in a rectangle beside a white plate where somebody's hurling a sphere at you at 102 miles per hour.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, get you
several times in the game.
Yeah, one time in the face. I'm still shocked, over the 40-plus years I've been watching Major League Baseball that we haven't had one of those horrific injuries.
No, I would agree with you.
But even if you were to, blow an, ACL and MCL.
Yeah. I mean, it's not quite like, to use another example, Garrett Cole, right? I mean, it looks like he's going to miss the whole year and have Tommy John, right? I mean, that's what they're still saying. I think there was a second opinion. I don't know if they've had that yet.
No, I think he's done.
Yeah, he's done.
Yeah,
Max Fried said last night, former Brave, now a Yankee, I'm ready to step up.
Yeah, so that's a game changer. When I've got a pitcher that's had a Tommy John, I'm not likely to invest that long in him. What injury could he really have outside of a normal injury, not like a baseball to the face, where he still couldn't get a $600 million deal?
I don't know.
Like if he blows an ACL.
What was Bo's crazy hip injury?
That was a blood flow situation, wasn't it?
But it came from his football injury, extending a play.
Yeah, but I'm just saying, man, I mean, crazy things do happen. And when you're leaving that kind of money on the table for a one-year deal.
He's 25. I mean, some people find out they have an irregular heartbeat in their late 20s.
Yeah.
Or they
that's
they have a distorted valve that they never have noticed before.
And that's crazy stuff. I'm just saying, like your normal run-of-the-mill injuries, there's not really one that a Vlad Guerrero could have where you would say, I'm not spending that kind of money on him. Because even if he blows an ACL, that'll heal back up and he'll be most likely the same player, right? Yeah. If a wide receiver in the NFL blows an ACL, all of a sudden you're like, ooh, is he going to have his speed back?
Boy, this is fascinating to watch because not only is he playing for that generational wealth, he's probably playing to make sure he's not back in Toronto.
That's right. It does seem like he wants to come back to the States. Like he doesn't want to be in Toronto.
I mean,
well, his dad's been a good majority in Montreal.
Y'all are out of money, right?
Oh, no. No, literally, the Dodgers have a money tree.
For Vlad Guerrero,
these things, you can ask Jeeves, they exist, but they're only in certain spots.
Yeah. They just may not have a place for him in the lineup. They've got so many MVPs.
Yeah. But his dad, to your point, I interrupt you, his dad played up there.
In Montreal for years.
Yeah.
And so, I don't know. I'm sure there's some benefits from playing in Canada.
Yeah. Well, used to
tax benefits.
Are you paid American dollars or loonies?
I don't know.
See, Montreal, I think it's different from Toronto.
I think you can put it into your contract. I get paid American dollars, but you're taxed in two places, I believe.
Well, you're taxed where your game is played, aren't you? Isn't it like the NFL?
I think you're taxed everywhere that you play.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. If you play in Cincinnati, you have to pay Ohio taxes.
Okay.
Yeah.
It seems like Tampa Bay would be a better franchise for free agency.
Well, there's no state tax.
Yeah.
Got to play in Tampa.
Yeah.
That's the drawback.
Outdoors in a minor league stadium now.
In
front of nobody. I would say this. Basketball star Jay Williams thought he had forever to play too.
Was it a motorcycle accident?
It was a motorcycle accident, yeah.
You don't see many guys.
Lynn Bias used cocaine one time.
Yeah, that's what they told us.
Does this drive you crazy?
One time.
Yeah.
Like, I wouldn't be surprised Tyler shows up one of those crotch rockets one day. Do you have any desire, Jeeves, to have a motorcycle?
None at all.
If you come up here in a leather jacket carrying a helmet, we used to have a guy that came up here for meetings a long time ago, and he was always carrying his motorcycle helmet wearing a leather jacket.
You don't. Boy, that's been a while.
You
don't see a lot of guys with the motorcycles now, or at least as many. I know there's a lot of stipulations in the contract, but the other day I'm on 280, completely bumper to bumper at like 3 o'clock in the afternoon, and dude on the motorcycle is creeping up between the traffic.
Okay.
I might have left at the same time.
Oh, wait.
I saw that.
Taylor and I never shared this story.
Okay.
I forget which game we were going to at Auburn, but it was the last one we rode together. And we're going down 280, and there's one, you know how they do on the interstate in 280, they'll just come out of nowhere. You don't even see them coming. They're flying so fast. And one guy comes flying by, and he passes between me and another car in the middle lane. Like, there's not a lane. He's just on the line. Like, it should be illegal for him to go between us. I think it is. So I'm side by side on 280, 2 lanes, and he comes between us at a high rate of speed. And then another motorcycle is somewhere, and we come up to a traffic light, and they start pulling off down by that Dairy Queen, and the other guy comes up behind the one that passed me really fast, and he gets beside him. They start jawing each other, and the guy on the right starts kicking at him, trying to kick him off while they're going about 40, 45 miles an hour.
Are you serious? Going that fast?
Taylor's like, oh my God. And
how did Taylor not start rolling videos?
She reaches for her phone,
okay,
and they have one speeds off and the other starts chasing him, and we never catch him again. But you ask her the whole story. It was insanity.
See, and I wonder if it's the guy that tries, because I see this all the time, the guy at the front of the line, he'll do the wheelie coming out, showboating. You wonder if it's really they're trying to beat everybody to the front to do that, or they're really just trying to be more efficient. But the bottom line is you're not you're not abiding to the traffic regulations out there, which drives me crazy.
It used to drive me crazy too, and it still kind of does. I'm like Greg. Part of you thinks I just want to open my door and let him run into my door. But I was told once that motorcycles, I'm not going to do that.
Don't say that about it.
That's a wild, intrusive thought I didn't know you had.
I'm saying you do wonder, like, if I open my door.
You can just throw your banana peel out. That's biodegradable, right?
But like, I don't like
Mario.
I don't like a lot of female singers in country music, except for Lainey right now. But like, if a Carrie Underwood song pops on, I'm usually changing it off of my highway right now. So I may look down and hit my next
This is interesting. So you like more female pop singers than male pop singers, but you like more male country stars.
I do, that is interesting. Yeah,
because when I'm in a country mood, I'm I feel like I got my driving my truck, got my boots on.
You only think of spitting when it comes to the
Do you ever go to Prime Country?
I do, yeah.
I like Prime Country.
So the Judds will come on, so I'm going to change the Judds.
I'm not a big Judds guy.
Me either, so I'm changing the Judds. Whichever.
Love can build a bridge, but past that.
Who is the judge?
The Judds.
The Judds.
Oh, the Judds.
Yeah, Ashley's older sisters.
Yeah. And then I could be looking down and just a slight swerve.
That's right.
And I could have knocked him down.
No, I was told
once you threw your coffee out the window, and it just.
But when they started kicking at each other, it was insanity.
Now, I was told once that one reason law enforcement allows them to do that within reason is because motorcycles rely on the airflow to keep from overheating. And if they're stuck in cars in traffic, they can overheat very, very quickly. So getting out between the cars at least allows the air to continue to flow.
But I don't think they should pass.
And that's fine. I'm fine with that. But I'm saying if you see them in between cars, that could be why.
The chat brought up a good question. Isn't that illegal here for motorcycles to go between the lanes? I know it's legal in California, but I don't think it's legal here.
And that's the thing is like, you want to be treated like, a regular car. A regular car. It's cyclists.
Yeah.
All cyclists want to be treated out on the roadways regular, but how often do you see them stop for a stop sign or a red light?
Well, they better. They better.
Oh, I don't. When I see them in a neighborhood, they never stop for stop signs.
Yeah, they're supposed to.
It's a violation of the law.
Yeah, they're supposed to. All right, top of the hour here. When we come back, we will.
Have you ever tried to pull the citizen's arrest? You seem like somebody that would.
I've never tried that.
I do this a lot.
Yeah, Dunaway he will cell phone shame you.
I've tried to be the world's police less in the last 6 months.
Have you ever gotten involved in an argument, like somebody yelling at their kids or somebody yelling at their girlfriend?
I've seen him do it.
When I was driving the Jocks one morning, I had a guy show me his gun because he had done something, and I pulled up beside him. And I was like, "What are you doing?" I mean, it may have been the old, get off the phone, get out of the left lane on your phone, driving 60, whatever that. And then he sped back up, got beside me, and showed me his pistoli. And I went.
And then you pulled out your junk.
I literally went just like that.
All right, you were right, as it turns out. Yep.
You stay on that phone all you want. I'm just going to do morning radio. All right, we're way late. Show brought to you by our friends at Wada Wellness, your journey to healthy living. Leslie, her board-certified team, they've got me shredding pounds now. I can't even keep it on anymore. They can do it for you. Aplanforme.com. Injection therapy, meal replacement. The protein bars, which are just so great. They keep you full until you eat smart at lunch and dinner. So many things that they can do for you. No contracts, no sign-up fees, and the first consultation is free. It's aplanforme.com. Aplanforme.com. Wada Wellness, your journey to healthy living.
Follow The Next Round on Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook at Next Round Live.
I'm attorney Alexander Shinar, Alabama born, Alabama raised, and ready to fight for your rights. I have one of the largest firms in Alabama, and we are here to help you get the compensation you deserve. Call me, Alabama, 323-1000.
Your representation is made that the quality of legal services being performed is greater than those of other lawyers.
Hey, there's nothing worse than waking up to a plumbing problem. Don't get caught in a flooded house. Call the guys at Hemp Hill Services. Adam, Chad, and the team at Hemp Hill are the only ones I trust to fix it and fix it right the first time. Hemp Hill Services does it right and always at a fair price. For all of your plumbing, cooling, and heating needs, trust the name that Birmingham has trusted since 1954. That is Hemp Hill Services. Call now, 205-229-2090. That's 205-229-2090.
Celebrate the best time of year, tournament time, with MyBookie.ag. Sign up right now with code NEXTROUND and receive a 50% deposit bonus up to $1,000, plus a $10 casino chip. Tournament time is here, so enjoy it even more by playing along at MyBookie.ag. Bet anything, anytime, anywhere with MyBookie.ag. Use code NEXTROUND on your initial deposit for a 50% deposit bonus up to $1,000, plus a $10 casino chip. Don't get caught by the buzzer. Sign up now at MyBookie.ag, code NEXTROUND.
Remember the name Way to Wellness if you're battling weight loss in your life. I'm Jim Dunaway from The Next Round. There was a time I was over 216 pounds until Way to Wellness helped me lose 45 pounds, and now for over 2 years, they've helped me keep that weight off. Here's their website, aplanforme.com, aplanforme.com. That's a great name for a website because there's no cookie-cutter plan. Everything is designed specifically for you. No contract, no sign-up fees, and your first consultation is free at Way to Wellness.
Looking for a great place for that boring meeting? Leave the office and go to the Golfus. What about corporate events like board meetings, sales meetings, customer appreciation events? How about the Golfus? Watch parties for football and basketball, parties for birthdays or couple showers. The Golfus is a great place for those. The Golfus has Birmingham's best golf simulators and man caves in Vestavia on Highway 31, opening soon in Trussville and on Highway 280. Bring whatever you want to eat or drink, even bring your own clubs. Get out of the office. Go to the Golfus. Book your spot now at thegolfus.com.
Man, I love a good meal. I'm Jim Dunaway. A good meal is what you get with my friend Sterling at Champy's Chicken on Highway 119 in Alabaster. We're talking great southern fried chicken, wonderful sides, hand-cut chicken fingers, po' boys, and those Mississippi Delta recipe tamales. You got a perfect menu for everybody. Champy's Chicken is perfect for watching the big game, or taking a meal to the lake house, down to the coast, or stay in the restaurant and dine in a great atmosphere. It's all made fresh to order right there on 119 in Alabaster, Champy's Chicken.
It's bow time. Tired of choosing between sweet and savory? Why not have both? Introducing Bojangles' new Chicken and Bowberry Waffles. The bold Cajun chicken filet you love, now drizzled with a Bowberry honey glaze and sandwiched between two warm waffles. Which means your favorite meal of the day just met your new favorite dish. And lucky for you, it's served all day. But it's only here for a limited time, so try Chicken and Bowberry Waffles at Bojangles today. It's bow time.
If you're looking to expand business and inform the Next Round audience about your exciting brand, contact us. Send an email to sales@nextroundlive.com to be a part of the team and advertise your product to hundreds of thousands of potential customers on our ever-expanding platform. Join our existing partners in the fastest growing media space, both live and on demand, and reach the most desirable audience for your business. Get information and more by emailing sales@nextroundlive.com, and one of our team members will work with you to take your business to the next level with the Next Round.
I'm attorney Alexander Shinar, Alabama born, Alabama raised, and ready to fight for your rights. I have one of the largest firms in Alabama, and we are here to help you get the compensation you deserve. Call me, Alabama, 323-1000.
No representation is made that the quality of legal services to be performed is greater than those of other lawyers.
Jim Dunaway, Lance Taylor, Ryan Brown. Live from the Birmingham Racecourse Casino Studios, The Next Round, presented by Bud Light, is on now.
4 downs in just a second. This hour of the show being brought to you in part by our wonderful friends at Bojangles, Brownie, where we're not talking about nuggets here. Nuggets are for knuckleheads, right?
I guess so.
At Bojangles, they're not nuggets, are they?
They're not. They're bow bites, Jim. They are bite-sized hand-breaded chicken fried to crispy perfection. They make it perfect for sharing, snacking, or when you're on the go. Just, as Jim said, do not call it a nugget. The only hard part is choosing from 6 dipping sauces. A sauce for every craving, from the creamy house-made ranch to the sweet and spicy peach honey pepper sauce. It all depends on what mood you're in. Head to your nearest Bojangles today. Discover the dippable, shareable, and craveable bow bites It's bow time.
Hey, by the way, some football news before we get to 4 downs. Kirby Smart starting his 10th season at Georgia. Is that right?
Wow. Yeah, that is. Well, 16 was his first season. Is that right? Yeah.
This would be season number 10 for Kirby. There, Colby Young, Kirby says yesterday, is fully reinstated. He was the young man, the receiver that was charged with domestic battery with the intent to harm an unborn child. The victim in the assault later dropped the charges, said it was misrepresented. It was downplayed to just disorderly conduct, and the harm to an unborn child was dropped. So he's got the legal part of that taken care of, and Kirby says he is back full standing with the team. His best game last year, Colby Young, was 3 catches, 51 yards against Auburn, but he's back trying to help out that lineup.
Outside of Kirby's first year where they go 8-5, and then 2020, do we take that one completely off the table?
I'd never hold 2020 against a coach. I will praise coaches like Nick Saban that somehow maneuvered that and had success. I think Jimbo Fisher, too, they had a really good year. But I don't hold it against the coach because there was so much out of their control.
Well, and I don't think anybody holds year one against the coach. Year one, 2020, all of his seasons have been A seasons.
Yeah.
Every one of them.
Yeah, I agree.
I mean, even last year where they were a disappointment, they won the SEC and had a bye.
He's the top of the game right now. And then there's Rich Rodriguez, who is now in his first year at his second trip to West Virginia, and they've opened spring practice. And Rich Rod's a little old school. He wants to change the attitude, the way West Virginia is perceived. He wants them to have a hard edge. He wants them to be tougher, more physical. So he instituted one team rule. You can be on TikTok. You just can't dance on TikTok.
Okay, good.
Here's Rich Rod. Listen to this.
I mean, they're going to be on it, so I'm not banning them from. I just banning them from dancing on it. You know, it's like, don't look. We try to have a hard edge, whatever, and you're in there, you know, in your tights, you know, dancing on TikTok. Ain't quite the image of our program that I want. But I told the team today, I said everything today is about trying to make everybody individual. It's all about the individual. It's all about the individual. And I said football is one of the last things that was got to be more about the team than the individual. And so I banned dancing on TikTok. I guess I did that. And I'm allowed to do that. I guess I can have rules now. When they, like I said, 20 years from now, they want to be sitting in their pajamas in the basement, eating Cheetos and watching TikTok or whatever the hell, they can go at it. Smoking cannabis, whatever. I mean,
cannabis.
Knock yourself out. But, you know, the hope their focus can be on winning football games. You know, how about let's win the football game and not worry about winning the TikTok.
Wow, Rich Rod could not have sounded older.
No, we need more Rich Rod, though.
I thought that was fantastic. It was
he is. I've never spent any time with him. We've had him on the show a couple of times. But he is an old school dude, and he is probably as far from politically correct as possible.
Yeah. You go to one of his practices, you hear some creative use of the English language.
Oh, I have heard. Yep. I mean, you know, you can use the F word. I don't know if you've ever.
It's very versatile.
You can use it 4 or 5 times in one sentence.
Yes, you can. Yeah, and I think he's tried that.
effing effort.
I don't. Look, I mean, it's nothing that appeals to me watching college football players dance on TikTok. But I'm not their audience either. They're not doing it for me.
Yeah.
It's more uncomfortable. I know you've done it with your daughter. The dad's dancing with their daughter because I don't get it on TikTok, but I guess some people will do it on TikTok and Instagram.
Yeah.
Because I'll see the Instagram feed pop up.
I've done it. I mean, and it went viral, so thank you.
Yeah.
I don't think we made any money off of it, but I don't know how this would impact. I'm not going to say you can't recruit kids if you're acting this way, but I mean, there's a reason these kids want to do the TikTok dances in the locker room, right?
Yeah, but if some kid, I mean, do you think they publicly would come out and be like, I didn't go to West Virginia because I couldn't dance on TikTok?
No, probably not, but it wouldn't shock me if it were part of their evaluation.
Yeah, I would tell you some people make some money. You know, Ryan Williams makes some money. There's some guys.
Oh, yeah, he does a lot of TikTok dances.
Guys make money with TikTok. Yeah. We make money at TikTok. It's time for 4 downs today.
There was an issue with that.
Yeah, we're currently banned from streaming on TikTok.
Have you heard the update? Do you know why we got banned?
Well, the streaming.
Yeah, the streaming. We make it on other stuff, but on the streaming, The very first day we streamed, what was the message they sent to you, Tyler?
We got flagged for promoting alcohol.
And then it was alcohol day 1. Day 2 was what?
Gambling.
Yeah, that was what I told Tyler. We are not long for TikTok if they're going to flag us for alcohol and gambling.
Yeah.
We ain't going to be there long.
Wow.
The Chinese are against alcohol and gambling?
Yeah.
I guess so.
What about that freedom thing? If we talk about freedom, or are we?
But somehow there's like dozens of shady online casinos on there that are actually scams.
Go back and challenge their ruling on us and use my picture of the thing I bought from the TikTok shop.
Yeah.
Which is a crime against humanity. It's time for 4 Downs today, and they're brought to you by our gambling friends at mybookie.ag.
Code next round when you sign on at mybookie.ag. And when you make that initial sign on and use code next round, you're going to get a great bonus in the sportsbook area, which is going to be a 50% bonus of your sign on there, up to $1,000. Free money to play with right away at mybookie.ag. They're also going to give you a $10 casino chip to use at the casino area. So, mybookie.ag, code next round, up to $1,000, a 50% sign-on bonus in the sportsbook, and that $10 casino chip. Tournaments are here, so jump on board with mybookie.ag and use code next round when you do to get some free money to play with right away.
First down.
All over the place today on 4 Downs. More starts in 2025. Daniel Jones, who just signed that 1-year deal with the Indianapolis Colts, or Aaron Rodgers, yet to sign with anyone.
I'm going to say Daniel Jones, going into a pretty good situation, had 1 good year leading the Giants to the playoff. Anthony Richardson's on again, off again, health-wise, on again, off again, talent-wise. Daniel Jones is a proven commodity, though you may not like the grade you get on Daniel Jones. He shows up for work every week. He's able to play every week. I'm going to say Daniel Jones gets more starts than Aaron Rodgers.
See, I would go Aaron Rodgers, I think.
Yeah.
Just because I think Anthony Richardson, I think this is the year that it is make or break for Anthony Richardson. Now, whether or not he can stay healthy, I don't know.
Here, newsflash. If Aaron Rodgers doesn't get the Pittsburgh Steelers gig or the Minnesota Vikings gig, a gig like that, I think he shuts it down.
Think he retires?
I don't think he's a New York Giant. I don't think he does something like that. It's going to be a place that he can either win or he shuts it down. And Minnesota, did they answer their question yet? Did they get anybody yet?
Minnesota has not figured. It's probably J.J. McCarthy, from what you hear.
I think they're acting as if they want McCarthy to be the guy, so they're not really approaching.
I heard this
won't go
morning.
To the Giants, I don't think.
This is pretty crazy because people still speculate that Aaron Rodgers could do the old Brett Favre from the Packers to the Jets to the Vikings.
Which is why I brought it up.
How many quarterbacks do you think, active quarterbacks, have won a playoff game since the last time Aaron Rodgers won one?
Active quarterbacks have won a playoff game since Aaron Rodgers.
I'd say half the league, 16.
Yeah, 16 seems like a good number.
17.
17.
Yeah.
It's pretty crazy, though, when you think about it.
Because he hasn't won a game in 3 years.
Yeah, I think Daniel Jones is one of those 17, too.
Yeah, crazy. But I'm gonna go off the board, probably stupid, but I'm going to say Daniel Jones.
I'm still going to bet on Aaron Rodgers.
Yeah,
he's in negotiations with Pittsburgh. I think that's a pretty good spot for him there.
Yeah.
Second down.
Today, March 12th, is Alfred Hitchcock Day. If I asked you guys your favorite Hitchcock film, if you like Hitchcock at all.
Psycho. Psycho for me.
Okay,
I've seen Psycho.
Should have never remade it.
I agree.
I've seen Birds. And then I've seen the one where the airplane's chasing the guy on the highway.
North by Northwest.
Yeah.
That's my second favorite.
North by Northwest is my favorite.
Rear Window is probably my favorite with Jimmy Stewart.
Good.
So good. Now they kind of remade that with Shia LaBeouf. What was it called? With the little blonde number running around. He was on house arrest.
I don't remember that one.
David Morse was the bad guy next door. Oh my gosh, what was it called? It was probably 10, 15 years ago now. But yeah, they did redo it. They just didn't name it Rear Window.
I just remember as a kid, for some reason, watching the Birds.
Disturbia.
Yeah, Disturbia. Watching the Birds freaked me out as a kid.
Yeah, me too.
Because you see them all the time. You're like, damn, what if they attack?
Sometimes they're in big flocks, too.
I could just vividly remember that scene where, is it a guy in a phone booth or a girl in a phone booth? It's a woman in a phone booth, yeah. Woman's in a phone booth, and they just start pecking the crap out of that phone booth, and she's trapped. And that freaked me out as a kid.
She would have had her mace.
I know.
I bet a bird does not like mace. Fair?
Probably
not.
Yeah.
Have you guys ever been attacked by a bird?
Oh.
No.
Can't say that I have.
But when they start hitting, that was the same scene where they start hitting her hair to start with, and then they start pecking that scalp.
One time we were feeding geese with my I think it was when Anna Kate, my oldest, was a little kid. Yeah, it was. And geese get more aggressive than one would think when you got bred.
Definitely. A geese went after me when I was a little kid.
Yeah, they get aggressive when
you
you're
get near
holding
their
bread.
eggs, especially.
Oh, yeah.
Like they're walking around these office parks.
Yeah.
If they've got eggs and you
mama.
Yeah.
That mama bird going to protect, isn't she?
More aggressive than they should be running around free at the zoo is those flamingos.
Oh, yeah?
Those things get a little, is that what they are, those pink things?
Yeah, that's a flamingo.
Yeah.
And they had the peacocks for a while.
Yeah.
I didn't see, when I went to the zoo for the first time in a decade, a couple of weeks ago, it was cold.
Yeah.
I think they were all hiding out somewhere.
Probably so. It's not flamingo season.
Yeah, but those flamingos can get a little aggressive.
Yeah.
Mockingbirds are the worst.
Are they
They're
really?
Super territorial. I got attacked by some.
I would think a vulture and an eagle are probably pretty aggressive.
They're probably more aggressive, but I've never been attacked by one of those.
I'll tell you what's cool. I'm always
pterodactyl.
I don't find one.
I don't consider that a bird.
I'm always on the golf course because of our schedule here in the afternoon near sunset. And usually about 45 minutes before sunset, there's a bald eagle that lives somewhere near Bent Brook, just off I-459. It's a beautiful, beautiful bird. And about the same time before sunset, changes with he's going by the sun, he'll come soaring around over the course and get above one of those lakes. And then he'll start scoping it out. And every day he goes in there and scoops up a big fish.
Yep.
And he comes out with both hands full of one big fish and flies back into the trees and takes that thing somewhere.
So let me ask you, if you scold one and hit the bald eagle and killed it,
I would go to prison.
No, you would not go to prison.
What if you scold one and you hit somebody in the group in front of you and it kills them?
Personal prison. I put myself in personal prison.
I mean, you would be liable for a civil suit, right?
Maybe a civil suit. You wouldn't go to prison. I think there's an assumed risk of being on a golf course that you could get hit by a golf ball.
I am told by the guy I play with, who is my insurance provider. It's why I have the umbrella? Is that the one?
Yeah, umbrella policy. Yeah.
Yeah, because I am responsible for my ball wherever it goes. Like
he upsold you on the course.
Like
hypothetically, because he knows you're a warrior.
Yeah, but
if you were to kill somebody,
what is that? $20 a month? Something like that.
The umbrella policies are very cheap. Yeah,
relatively,
and they're very
for
smart to have.
Yeah. But no, he says, like, I mentioned a friend of yours who lives on a golf course and how a ball went through the window into an upstairs bedroom, and I was like, who's responsible for that? Well, if you can catch him, the guy that hit the ball, or the girl, the person that hit the ball, you're responsible for wherever it goes. Like if there's like an Oak Mountain on number 18. The road's coming down.
Yeah.
If I slice one into that road and hit a truck,
it's on you.
I'm responsible for that ball cracking my windshield.
I've honestly, and I've got no problem like going and knocking on a door if I hit somebody's house.
I would do it in a heartbeat.
But we've played at Greystone. I remember I was playing with our buddy Clay Travis one time in one of the what are they called?
Pro-Am?
The Pro-Ams. And I scolded one. And the houses were so close together. I didn't know what house I hit because it went off in the woods.
And if I just hit the house and there was
no
damage,
so freaking loud. It wasn't glass.
It broke glass. You heard it break?
No, I didn't hear. No, I'm saying it hit the house.
You know the sound of a ball hitting the house when you've heard it. Yeah.
If you hit the house, I'm not going to go up there. But if I hear something break,
if you hear a kid scream,
they might have got bit.
Is that when you do the Bill Murray, the Carl Spackler? You just look around
and leave the clubs.
Yeah. Third down.
James Taylor, 77 years old. Better career, James Taylor or Lawrence Taylor?
No, James Taylor, Paul Feinbaum would have been a good answer.
Ben Kingsley. It's going to be Lawrence Taylor, and I'm a big James Taylor fan. Jennifer and I used to go see him every time he would come to Oak Mountain Amphitheater.
I feel you outgrew that too.
Well, no, he just quit coming.
Yeah.
How many times did he come?
He would come every other year for a while. Don't you remember the controversy when Terry Bowden went?
Bowden. Because I was actually at that one.
I was too. Yeah. Were you at that concert?
I think I was.
We weren't working together.
At the lawn then. I think I was in the lawn.
Oh, it was lawn.
Yeah. That's where we used to like watching James Taylor. Was in the lawn.
Yeah.
You'd throw out a blanket and lay under the stars.
Cuddle up.
And listen to that soothing music. I like James Taylor.
Yeah, I didn't love him. No.
But I would still go Lawrence Taylor.
I would go Lawrence Taylor just because I still think he's the best, like, pure rushing linebacker we've ever seen.
I don't know if it's true, but it seems to me in my memory he changed the position.
He did.
Where he wasn't like the outside left linebacker, right linebacker. He lined up wherever he wanted to line up.
He was a hybrid guy, but he also, and I'll let you get to the point.
Well, I was going to say not only did he change the position, Lance, but I don't remember the exact of this story, but I think within the first 2 years of him being in the league, every other team in that division drafted left tackle.
Well, and I was going to say the left tackles got more athletic too.
Yeah.
And more money.
Yeah, Dallas, Philadelphia, the Redskins at the time, all were like, okay, I guess we're going to need a guy that can block a pass rusher, so we better go get us a good left tackle. So it did change 2 positions probably.
Yeah.
4th down.
Okay, here it is. I just had this weird thought this morning. How many SEC coaches have better basketball than football coaches? I went through this. I've got 6 better basketball, 5 better football, and 5 incomplete.
Well, just you throw us to the school and we'll do it. You want to do it that way, Dunaway?
Yeah,
all right, go.
So let's just, I'll tell you what, I'll start with the basketball standings and we'll just go down.
All right. Auburn has a better basketball coach.
Yep, I agree with you guys. Right.
Florida has a better basketball coach.
I agree.
Yeah, it's very easy.
I would agree basketball too.
Very easy.
Alabama
has a better basketball coach. I think it's probably a toss-up, but I would say Oates is a better basketball coach than DeBoer's a football coach.
I think DeBoer has accomplished more. He has played for a national championship. So I'm saying it's a push, though. That's one of my undecided.
I'd probably go push, but if you push me to say one, I'd say Oates is better, but it's probably a push.
I would take Nate Oates right now, but it's close.
Yeah, I would feel better. Well, I feel good about either one of those guys going forward. That's why I've got it a push.
Yeah.
Let's go with Tennessee.
Better basketball coach. Rick Barnes has won a ton of games.
It's basketball.
Barnes.
This
is not close.
Dude, postseason matters.
He's been to a Final Four in how many Elite
Eights? He's been to a Final Four at Texas.
He's been to like 4 Elite Eights.
2 generations ago.
Well, Jim, I'm sorry.
Yeah,
but
I think he's been to 4 Elite Eights. I mean, Josh Heupel got to a college football playoff. Good for him. He got completely doors blown off.
Yeah.
He's
I think
rebuilding.
Rick Barnes, is it he your winningest active coach right now?
He's old. Okay, you're just telling me old things.
But they are.
You're telling me old things.
I can't make him younger.
Yeah.
But they are top 10 every single year.
He has won
every single year.
3 Big 12 regular seasons, 2 SEC regular seasons.
Tell me the difference in Rick Barnes and Bruce Pearl once you get to the NCAA tournament. There's not a difference. And you went easy, Bruce Pearl.
Because of Hugh Freeze right now.
Yeah, but Hugh Freeze,
he's a more accomplished coach than Heupel.
Yeah, I think
not
Freeze,
at this job though.
Well, are we only doing this job?
Well, that's the way I'm judging it by the coach who is there and the job he's doing right now.
Barnes has been to 1, 2, 3.
I think it's 4 Elite
Eights. Only 3.
Okay,
that is underwhelming. I don't deny it, but that's still 3 Elite Eights. That's 3.
How many of those at Tennessee? All 3 of them?
2.
2. Okay.
No, I'm sorry. 2 were at Texas, 1 at Tennessee.
Okay, so 1 time at Tennessee, he's gone to the Elite Eight.
But he won the Big 12 3 times and the SEC twice.
Yeah.
I mean, that's a lot of conference championships.
I go Rick Barnes, but it's not.
Okay.
It's,
all right.
It's the same separation, Nate and DeBoer for me.
Texas A&M.
Easy Buzz Williams.
Oh. I would just go undecided.
No, I'd go Buzz Williams.
I'd go Buzz, but it is a close Buzz Williams.
Mike Elko has had 1 good year at Duke.
I know, but what is Buzz ever done?
Well, Buzz
he talked to me in a hallway.
He's a nice guy.
Neville Arena one time.
Did he really?
Yeah,
I think Buzz,
tremendously nice guy.
I don't think Buzz has had any tournament success at all.
Buzz has gone to
1 Sweet 16,
Sweet 16, an Elite 8 at Marquette. Everybody forgets his Marquette years.
Yeah.
2 Sweet 16s added at Marquette, so that's 4 total. And an Elite 8.
Yeah.
That's better than anything Elko has done. This is an easy one, Buzz Williams.
Buzz Williams for me. Elko will be good eventually, though. The guy's he's an emotional guy, loves his family. I like Buzz Williams.
Kentucky. I know Brown's going to disagree, but this is easy, Stoops.
It probably is. I mean, Pope has not done enough for me to say Pope's obviously over Stoops, but he could pass him very quickly.
I mean, he's going to be in the tournament that decides the national championship this year. Stoops,
let me see how he does.
Stoops hasn't been in anything like that.
I think you overrate Stoops.
But again, degree of difficulty. Yeah. We talk about the worst basketball jobs, and we give a lot of credit to Bruce Pearl and Chris Beard there. This was the worst football job outside of Vanderbilt.
Yeah, this one's going to be – I'm going to go Stoops right now.
But Pope could pass him pretty easily.
Yeah.
Ole Miss –
I do think it's Beard.
I don't think it's as slam dunk as you make it out. I mean, you discount anything Lane Kiffin's done.
Beard
He's been
took Texas Tech to a
Look, I
Final
think
Four.
Lane Kiffin's done a good job at Ole Miss, but like the schedule was a joke last year.
Beard took Texas Tech to a Final 2. They played for a national championship at Texas Tech.
That was at Texas Tech. That now was 2 jobs ago.
Oh my God, Jim! I mean, I don't know how you're playing this game. I've got to judge them based
I'm
on what they've
judging him
done.
as the Ole Miss coach.
Well, you shouldn't. That's not the way this game
He's
is played.
the Ole Miss coach, right? So at Ole Miss.
Oh,
well, you would have to, because if you're judging Lane Kiffin on anything he did before Ole Miss, it's not even close.
Dominated Florida Atlantic.
He did not dominate.
He won a conference championship.
Well, that's not dominating.
Yeah, and he had a underrated Tennessee team playing better than their skill set.
They won
when he left
7
to
games.
USC.
7-5.
That team wasn't 7-5 good. Nick Saban
that was
would
the
tell you
record.
how he coached up Tennessee.
Okay, it's Chris Beard.
I mean, Saban would have had him at 10-2.
Chris Beard.
Next on the list, we're going Missouri.
I mean, don't expect me to just sit here and agree with you all the time.
Okay.
Right? I'm going to disagree sometimes.
I'll go push.
I mean, one guy did go 0-18 though, and then he turned it around.
That's right. Which one's more impressive?
But Eli Drinkwitz has made Missouri, but then we're back to who did they really beat?
That's right.
But I did have Drinkwitz.
I'd
better
go
in
push.
football.
I'd go push on this one.
Yeah.
I mean, just because Gates was 0-18.
He was, but then he also turned it back around. I don't know.
I mean, Eli for me right now, Gates could easily change that with another couple of good years.
Arkansas.
It's Calipari.
Yeah,
easy. Yeah.
Mississippi State.
You go with Calipari, right?
Yeah, I mean, Sam Pittman.
Mississippi State.
Jan's easy.
Yeah.
That's not even close.
I've got Mississippi State.
He's done nothing yet.
Georgia, easy. Kirby.
Georgia is not even discussion.
Vanderbilt, I had undecided. I got no idea.
Well,
I really don't either.
I can't even tell you the old boy's name has done a heck of a job this year for Vandy, but he brought his players with him.
The Byington.
And Clark Lee did a heck of a job last year. I mean, he won some games.
Yeah, I'd probably go Clark Lee, but it's probably a push.
Yeah, I really don't care, to be honest with you.
I had Oklahoma undecided too.
Porter Moser's done more. That's not undecided. He's done more than Brent Venables. If you go career now, if you play the way the game Jim's playing it,
but I'm almost like Brent Venables as a defensive coordinator to Moser at Loyola.
Yeah, but I'm looking at head coach. I mean, Porter Moser took Loyola. I've never been able to say it.
Loyola.
I can't. You can say it all you want.
Sister Jean still alive?
She's still kicking. And that was a Final Four, if I remember correctly. Am I wrong about that?
It was Final Four.
Yeah,
Okay,
to the Final Four.
Brent Venables has never been anything close to that.
Yeah.
So that's easy.
He has underachieved at Oklahoma.
Texas, easy Sark.
100%. That's not even a discussion.
Yes.
LSU, easy Brian Kelly.
Not even a discussion.
South Carolina, look, I know Beamer's had a couple of solid years, but I got this one undecided.
He was Coach of the Year last year. Wasn't he? Didn't he win all the Coach of the Year awards? Not Beamer.
The South Carolina coach.
Whose name I cannot say easily right
Lamont
now.
Paris.
Lamont Paris. Wasn't he the Coach of the Year last year?
Yeah. But
They won all those games. You labeled them as soft, and you were 100% correct.
That's right.
They went out early.
And this year they're
But would
bad.
you
bad.
Would you
Soft.
guys say that it's kind of undecided on that?
I'd probably go Beamer.
I'd go Beamer.
Yeah, I don't feel great about it, but I'd go Beamer.
Close, but I'd go Beamer.
I would go undecided.
Yeah. Is that it?
That's it.
That was the bottom. And that's 4 downs today. Brought to you by our friends at mybookie.ag and also by our friends at ImageCraft. Listen, you're going to do something on Sunday if you run your office bracket. You're going to put a piece of paper and a copier, and you're going to
print.
Hopefully we'll get 100 people in our office to sign up. Or you can just go to our friends at ImageCraft.
That's right.
And they'll put it on cardstock for you.
They want you to print more and spend less. They specialize in low-cost printer and copier supplies. Been doing it for a very long time, so these people know what they're doing, all right? They carry all the major brands, HP, Brother, Canon, Dell, Lexmark, Konica, Minolta, Kyocera, Ricoh, Sharp, Xerox, all of that right there at ImageCraft, imagecraft.net online, where code TNR10 saves you 10% off your initial order. Or you can go in and see them in person, Gadsden Highway in Trussville, just down from the Pinnacle Shopping Center, where you mentioned the next round. You get 10% off. They will ship it anywhere in the Birmingham metro area for free. They will beat any locally advertised price. They will ship free outside the area. Same-day delivery in Birmingham, shipped free outside the area, all at ImageCraft. ImageCraft.net. Print more, spend less with ImageCraft.
Take the next round anywhere you go with official Next Round gear. Buy yours today at nextround.store.
I'm attorney Alexander Shinar, Alabama born, Alabama raised, and ready to fight for your rights. I have one of the largest firms in Alabama, and we are here to help you get the compensation you deserve. Call me, Alabama, 323-1000.
Your representation is made that the quality of legal services being performed is greater than those of other lawyers.
Hey, Lance Taylor from the Next Round to tell you about one of our favorite places for breakfast, lunch, and dinner. That is Hamburger Heaven since 1982. Hamburger Heaven has been serving Birmingham's best hamburgers, cheeseburgers, French fries, hand-spun milkshakes, and sandwiches made fresh to order. All of their ingredients are fresh and prepared daily. This includes their beef, always fresh, never frozen, hand-pattied each and every day. For breakfast, lunch, or dinner, visit any of the 4 locations, Highway 280, Irondale, Gardendale, and Homewood. Celebrate the best time of year, tournament time, with mybookie.ag. Sign up right now, code NEXTROUND, and receive a 50% deposit bonus up to $1,000. Plus, a $10 casino chip. Tournament time is here, so enjoy it even more by playing along at mybookie.ag. Bet anything, anytime, anywhere with mybookie.ag. Use code NEXTROUND on your initial deposit for a 50% deposit bonus up to $1,000. Plus, $10 casino chip. Don't get caught by the buzzer. Sign up now at mybookie.ag, code NEXTROUND. Hey, let me tell you about our friends at Urology Centers of Alabama. Compassionate and comprehensive urological care with 35 physicians, 17 locations across Alabama. Their patient-centered approach to all of your urological needs. Remember, they've got that new men's health center. It is beautiful, helping men with a wide range of sensitive male issues in a comfortable environment. You can always go online, visit urologycentersalabama.com, schedule an appointment with one of their many urologists today. Hey, there's nothing worse than waking up to a plumbing problem. Don't get caught in a flooded house. Call the guys at Hemphill Services. Adam, Chad, and the team at Hemphill are the only ones I trust to fix it and fix it right the first time. Hemphill Services does it right and always at a fair price. For all of your plumbing, cooling, and heating needs, trust the name that Birmingham has trusted since 1954. That is Hemphill Services. Call now, 205-229-2090. That's 205-229-2090.
The World Wide Web is a large place. Find all your favorite people and content in the same spot. NextRoundLive.com is full of wonderful tidbits about the show you know and love. Find our gear, listen to your favorite personalities, follow our socials, and enjoy your trip to NextRoundLive.com.
It's bow time. Tired of choosing between sweet and savory? Why not have both? Introducing Bojangles' new Chicken and Bowberry Waffles. The bold Cajun chicken filet you love, now drizzled with a Bowberry honey glaze and sandwiched between 2 warm waffles. Which means your favorite meal of the day just met your new favorite dish. And lucky for you, it's served all day. But it's only here for a limited time, so try Chicken and Bowberry Waffles at Bojangles today. It's bow time.
Want more of the show? Download the app or visit nextroundlive.com for the latest podcast, The Mystery Fifth Hour, our Not For All Ages podcast, The Last Call, and the entire Double Down Media podcast family. All at nextroundlive.com and on the Next Round app.
You could win a Cadillac CT5 or your share of $25,000 in free play and cash at Birmingham Racecourse Casino. The more you visit, the more chances you have to win. Play the latest, most exciting games around with fun bonuses and big jackpots. You can be a winner too. Come win your share during the Cadillac CT5 and $25,000 giveaway at Birmingham Racecourse Casino. Drawings April 5th and 6th. Located off I-459, exit 31, Derby Parkway. Must be 21 or older. Must be present to win.
I'm attorney Alexander Shinar, Alabama born, Alabama raised, and ready to fight for your rights. I have one of the largest firms in Alabama, and we are here to help you get the compensation you deserve. Call me, Alabama, 323-1000.
No representation is made that the quality of legal services to be performed is greater than those of other lawyers.
I saw a comedian the other day on TikTok, Brown. It's like the difference between the mentality sometimes of men and
women.
Yeah. She was like,
it was a female comedian.
Yeah, it was a female comedian. She was like, all of you men in here, there's a little bit of part of you that if you're on a plane and the pilots, both are out, they die of a heart attack. Part of you guys in here think that you could land the plane, right? And you could hear the guys like, well, if I have to, I'll give it a shot.
I mean, if
there's no chance.
No. But if the other option is crashing,
right?
Why would you not give it a shot?
Oh, yeah. Well, you look for parachutes first, right?
I don't think I'm going to take care of my family first.
But she was like, but you guys really, in your head right now, as you think about the scenario, think, there's part of me think I could pull it off.
There was a study done recently that said like
listen to Jeeves.
50 or 60% of guys think they can actually land the plane if they have to.
Okay, let me ask you this.
But I would say that 50 to 60% probably answered when they were intoxicated.
If we've got time, if time is on our side, like if we're already in the descent, it's game over probably. But if time's on our side, we're flying to Denver, pilot dies over Arkansas.
Autopilot's already on.
Autopilot's already on. So do you think I can sit down in the seat and air traffic control or somebody at Delta or somebody like that can talk me through it enough?
Bad day to stop sniffing glue.
talk me through it enough. We could get the baby on the ground. Do you think that could happen?
Let me ask you this, though. First of all,
it's
you
easy
don't
to hit the ground.
You don't know how you're going to react nerve-wise. I mean, first of all, how overwhelmed would you be just looking at all the instruments?
Right.
And then knowing at that situation that more than likely you're going to die and everybody's going to die that's with you and everybody's going to die at the back of the plane. And now you're going to...
But somebody at Boeing is going to get on the horn with me and be like, hey, ignore that entire bank of switches. We're not using those.
98% of those lights. You got to focus on the...
I need you to look at these two things.
This thing and that thing that keeps the wings level. The push forward and the wings level thing.
So I'm saying if time were on our side, I just wonder. I'm not saying I could do it, but I wonder if people...
Oh, you're coming in way too fast.
I know. I wonder if there's enough, like they could talk you through just the landing planes for dummies. I could safely get it on the ground.
I saw a professional put it on top of the plane in Toronto just a couple of weeks ago.
I know.
I think you'd have a better shot with a small aircraft.
Okay,
is that fair?
So we're getting...
I think so.
Yeah.
The only reason I brought it up, somebody sent me a picture. They were on a private jet, and I was like, who's flying the plane? They've got T-shirts on. And that made me think about the comedian about could we land a plane if we had to?
Troy, or SEC champs Troy says they have dedicated people to walk people through landing a plane.
Yeah.
I did not know that.
I don't even want to hear that, really.
Boy, that is a job where...
that person's back there. What?
I'm flying next week, so I really don't want to get into this discussion, but have we ever had pilot die and co-pilot die, like just of random circumstances on one flight? It had to have happened in the history of the world, right?
The odds on that one. Volfan 205 says, I would wonder what the hell was in the cockpit that killed two people.
Yeah. Am I going to be the third?
Somebody else in the chat brought up a good point, and that's if both pilots are dead, who opens the cockpit for you?
Well,
I guess in this imaginary scenario, a flight attendant is already like opening the door to get some drinks and then discovers that they're dead.
That's it. Or they've opened the door to yell, we're dying in here. Somebody send us a pilot.
I think at that point,
Kareem had chili again last night.
I want a cyanide pill.
Yeah. All right. So people are saying Skydog, a dude stole a plane. Skydog. He stole a plane. Now, I'm assuming
it's not Sly Dog. It's Skydog. So Skydog's got an alias. He steals planes.
Skydog steals a plane. Now I'm assuming he was not an accomplished pilot.
Sky King.
Sky King. Okay. Stole a plane.
Wow.
Jeeves.
We're getting close to a friend of mine.
He was a ground service agent. Oh, well, there it is. For Horizon Air, a subsidiary of Alaska Airlines, and stole and fatally crashed an airplane.
I don't know how
fatally crashed is key to that sentence. Well, I would like to know.
He's by himself though, but he got it off the ground.
Yeah, he got away with like actually stealing the plane, but he couldn't get it to the point where he could keep the plane.
I would like to know if fatally crashed was suicide attempt or was he literally trying to land it and fatally crash it? That would be an important
or trying
piece
to
of
take off. He may have crashed and take off.
That's true.
Yeah.
That's a good point.
Yeah.
According to an FBI press release, Russell's crash was intentional. If the pilot had wanted to avoid impact with the ground, he had time and energy to pull the column back, raise the nose, and initiate a climb. So why didn't he?
Yeah,
absolutely. Why didn't he? A+ brings you that hypothetical question today. Maybe you thought about redoing your bath or your kitchen.
Well, you definitely hire a professional to do that. I'm not going to try to do it myself. That's why my wife scoured the internet looking for the right person for the job and chose Brad Bell. Scott is going to show you some before and after photos of Brad's work in our house, but you can see more on this website, AlabamaBathRemodels.com. That is AlabamaBathRemodels.com. Brad Bell specializes in master bath, kitchen, and master bedroom closets. That's his specialty. Not to say it's all he does, but it's where you'll make some of your money back when you go to sell your home, and it's rooms you'll enjoy the entire time you have your home. They've got financing options available, and they can do great work. His crews do tremendous work for us. You could see more at alabamabathremodels.com, alabamabathremodels.com, or just call this number and talk to Brad or shoot him a text. 205-422-1758, 205-422-1758, alabamabathremodels.com.
You were just talking about coaching jobs in basketball and football in the SEC. For however you determine it, and don't go Vandy here because of the competition always being better than their talent level, who has the hardest job in the Southeastern Conference in college football? When you factor in expectations, the job they have to do, at this moment in history, who has the hardest job in college football? I will say this before you answer. I feel like Kalen DeBoer's job is a little different than most, but he does have all the resources that Alabama has to offer.
There are contributing factors and stuff like this.
Right.
Like, for instance, you could have made the argument at one point, Gus Malzahn did at Auburn, because he was coaching against Nick Saban and Kirby Smart, the two best in the game at the time, and those are his two biggest rivals, and he had a fan base that expected to win at that level.
Man, I can go a lot of different directions.
I know.
Like Mississippi State sells out all their games. There's a expectation you bring in because of the tragic circumstances. You've got an interim coach that doesn't make it a year. Now people are talking about if Jeff Lebby, if the bottom falls out, he could be gone after a year or two. And that's just a difficult job to begin with. South Carolina's another one. They sell it out every single Saturday. They've got a passionate fan base. But really, what have they had? 2 double-digit win seasons in the history of the program?
Not a whole lot.
My first answer, and I know what Kalen DeBoer is battling against now year 2. Not a lot of talk this year in the offseason so far about Nick Saban's not in Tuscaloosa anymore. That was sort of a one-year story. Now it's just like, man, what's wrong, man? They got to win. But to me, it seems to be that LSU job seems to be really tough right now because of who has won in the past, what they've won in the past, and the
that's why I would say
I would
the opposite.
argue against it, because everybody that's coached there has won a national championship since Saban, and
I haven't yet.
Yeah,
but I haven't
that's
yet.
your fault. That's not because it's a hard job. It's because you're failing.
That's what I'm saying. It seems like that's a pretty hard job right now.
It shouldn't be. I mean, the recruiting should be through the roof every
it's
year.
It's like Alabama, although you are following up Nick Saban, every coach there has won double-digit games.
Yeah. I would argue Texas A&M for a lot of the same reasons. Lance argues like Mississippi State and South Carolina. Texas A&M's never really won anything of note, ever.
Texas A&M you should be able to, though.
Well, but nobody ever has.
Like Mississippi State, South Carolina is impossible.
So this is the question I always ask about A&M, Lance. I agree you should be able to. You've got all the resources in the world, right? You're in Texas, which is a good, fertile recruiting ground, right? You're in a conference that is a really good conference, the Southeastern Conference. You've got everything you should ever want. Why has nobody ever won big there?
Doesn't make any sense.
Do they just keep hiring the wrong coach over and over and over and over again? Have they just been that bad?
Well, I mean, Elko's a roll of the dice, right?
I mean, it's a 50-50 shot.
Some people thought Jimbo Fisher was a slam dunk.
I did. I thought he'd be much better there than he was. But nobody's ever won big at Texas A&M. Explain to me why. Can you explain that one, Jim?
No, I can't.
I mean, none of it makes sense, right?
Like, I'm to the point now, like, I don't know, and you're right, but, like, who could you give that job to where you feel like they would win a national championship for sure?
I mean, I would say Kirby Smart. I would say Nick Saban.
So you've gone one active coach, which I do agree on Kirby.
I mean, could Ryan Day win a national championship there?
I mean, he just finally
he had to
won
fight
one.
tooth and nail to win one at Ohio State, which is a far better job.
No.
Could Jim Harbaugh have done it?
I mean, we were talking about him losing his job before he finally won one at Michigan.
Texas A&M will forever be perplexing to me until they actually do it.
Do you think you'll see it?
I really don't. I think there's a reason. We've got 125 years of college football, and what have they ever won? I mean, when you start looking at total wins versus accomplishment, they are probably the least accomplished program in the history of college football.
You know, they were dynastic before the solar flares. they had 4 championships.
I got you on those solar flares yesterday, didn't I? You couldn't figure that out.
Tennessee's pretty hard.
Their
expectation is there. Their recruiting is tougher.
It is.
Tennessee's a tough job. If I said in college football right now, so take it out of the SEC, Ohio State has never looked hard to me, though Ryan finally won one because he's always had great teams.
USC's gotten difficult. I mean, with
really
travel now, with figuring out television, when we're going to have these kick times.
But where is the expectation now of that fan base? And what is that fan base?
I still think the expectation is to win a championship, especially with the money you're paying Lincoln Riley. And then again, I'm going to bring it up. I'll continue to bring it up until I'm done doing
what
this.
I'm asking,
when you've got Indiana in the Big Ten getting to a college football playoff, how can USC not get there?
I guess my question is, who gets pissed off when USC's not good? That's really what this comes down to.
I don't know what
right?
their fan base is like.
Who gets mad when you're not good? And the ones we were naming, there are people that get mad when you're not good.
People get mad enough that they have fired multiple coaches midseason, have they not? Didn't Kiffin and Sark get fired midseason? Am I right about that?
Yeah, Kiffin, Sark, Clay Helton, basically.
Yeah. I mean, if you're firing coaches midseason, you've got a fan base that gets upset.
I think it gets – I think the perception is it's different because there's so many things going on in L.A., and when you do – the pecking order. I mean, here it's easy. It's Alabama and Auburn football, But in L.A., it literally is the Lakers, the Dodgers, the Rams. I mean, you can go down the list before you get to USC football. So I think the perception is, I just don't think these people in Los Angeles care as much about college football. But in reality, there's a lot of people that do.
Yeah, again, if you're firing people midseason, you've got fans that care. Because an athletic director doesn't want to make that decision midseason. He's doing it to get fans off his butt.
Notre Dame seems like a tough job to me.
Well, I don't know where their academic standards are. Haven't they relaxed those a little bit for football? Haven't we heard that?
I think the Notre Dame people would tell you no.
But are they lying to me when they tell
me
me no? When they had really strict academic standards, it was very difficult to compete with schools that had lesser standards. There's no doubt about that.
Yeah, I don't know if we'll see Notre Dame. I mean, they played for one this year. Are we going to see them win another one in our lifetime?
Yeah.
Because it is a difficult job, but we've seen Brian Kelly in 12, Marcus Freeman last year play for national championships.
They were about 50 minutes away from doing it this year, that opening drive.
Oh, I know.
When they marched
so
down, took that 7-0 lead, and ate up 9 minutes of the clock, I thought to myself, well, my goodness, they're going to do this.
I never thought it.
And then they did. You never thought it.
No, that first possession,
drive,
they ran like you said, I thought it was 9 minutes.
I think it was 9 minutes and 48 seconds.
Oh, it was a great first possession.
Yeah,
it was kind of like what Indiana did in Columbus to Ohio State.
Yeah, I was like, if Ohio State goes 3 and out here and they give it back to Notre Dame, they're able to replicate something like that. Yeah. This will be a long night.
Ohio State with 2 possessions in the first half, down 14-3.
It's like they're playing a service academy.
Didn't happen. All right, viewing menu in just a second. Alabama Power bringing you this next fact on a little basketball here for you. Could Cooper Flagg come back? Does he want to come back? And will he come back after Brownie tells you about Alabama Power?
We have a pilot in our audience that has answered our question, too.
Okay.
A big pilot.
Let me do the Cooper Flagg thing, then we'll do that.
Yep, just remember to come back, too. Listen, we talked about these storms that are coming through the South, unfortunately, this weekend, and they appear to be super severe. So stay in touch with Alabama Power because severe weather can pop up when you least expect it. Fortunately, you got a little warning this time. That's why Alabama Power is always ready with the tech and know-how to get your power back on fast with tools to prevent outages and a team on call 24/7. They are there to keep you safe and in the loop. You could stay ahead, too. Head to alabamapower.com/storm for storm safety tips, how to report an outage, and how to stay updated when storms are coming. alabamapower.com/storm. Stay safe with Alabama Power.
So Cooper Flagg, this recently told some people, it was after his last game at Cameron Indoor, dang, I don't want to go. I want to come back. I want to come back. And there is real belief that he is enjoying playing college athletics, college basketball, being at Duke. And he really wants to keep playing at Duke, especially if for some reason they don't win a national championship this year, that he really wants to check that box. And in the world of NIL, I guess you could make that discussion, but somebody crunch the numbers. If he only delays going to the NBA by 1 year, even if he makes $5 million to come back, $6 million to play, it would cost him $55 million to come back 1 year, just delay his NBA career by 1 year.
Yeah, I think you can skew those numbers a little bit because he's got to deal with New Balance. And here's what I would say to that. If you really want another year of college basketball, by the way, he's a kid from Maine. He just turned 18 in December. Both his mom and dad played college basketball in Maine. So I don't know what, the resources were growing up in the Flagg family. Maybe they've got generational wealth. I have no idea. But if he was to come out and tell New Balance, I'll sign a lifetime contract with you, but I need X amount up front, I think you could probably balance this thing out. I'm not going to be absolutely floored if he comes back based on the money he can make. And he's only 18 years old. Yeah. And if I'm his dad right now, if you want to go back and play at Duke, you're going to make so much money in your career. $55 million sounds like a lot. It is a lot of money. Now, again, I'm contradicting myself because we go back to Vlad Guerrero Jr. Talking about, one bad decision could cost him.
Well, and it could cost Cooper Flagg, too. And the reason you say, well, if he's making that money this year, Jim, how's it costing him money? It delays, you help me this, you know NBA better than me. It delays 1 year him getting to that max or super max deal down the road in terms of contractual money. The Athletic says it'll be about $55 million.
But again, that Supermax deal is probably going to be so much bigger once he gets to the point where he actually can sign that extension. He's also got to deal with Gatorade. He's the first college basketball player to ever have a Gatorade deal while still playing. Yeah. So I think he could sign a lifetime deal with Gatorade and New Balance if he wants New Balance to be his shoe of choice.
You can make a little addendum in there. If something catastrophic happens, I get a certain amount of money, even if I couldn't play.
I love the unpredictable, though. Wouldn't you like to see the kid come back? I don't like Duke. I've never liked the Duke brand. Drives me crazy. But I just think it would be so against the grain. I mean, it was hell, and this has been, going on 30 years. When Peyton Manning made the decision not to go after his junior year, people were like, man, he is crazy. Yeah. Has it affect? Look, it's different dollars and cents to the NFL and NBA and max deals and where the contracts were back then. But has it affected Peyton Manning at all?
No, not really.
It's probably the best decision he ever made was coming back.
Right now, your lottery teams, if the season ended today, Washington would have the best odds.
Yeah.
The Jazz would have the second best odds. The Pelicans would have the third best. And the Pelicans are probably like, man, do I want another Duke star down here?
You do. The last one didn't work.
But the last one didn't work. I mean, because he stayed hurt and fat.
You kind of knew that Zion was going to be that kind of player that was going to be a roll of the dice like Greg Oden back with Portland. I don't think Cooper Flagg's that type of player.
Michelson gives us our viewing menu every day. Tyler's going to tell us what he's watching tonight or has been seeing. Michelson Laser Vision.
To view life in high definition, make the phone call that I made over 20 years ago, 205-969-8100. Ask for Amy. Tell her the next round sent you. They're going to hook you up with a hassle-free consultation. Dr. Mark Michelson, true pioneer, the first to perform the LASIK procedure in the state of Alabama back in 1995. For more information, MichelsonLaserVision.com.
Tonight we got another live event on Netflix. It is a show with John Mulaney called Everybody's Live with John Mulaney. It's described as the first ever sit-down celebrity talk show.
Well, I'm kind of interested in this. Do we know who's going to be on it?
Yes. So they released the guest list for this week's episode, and it has Michael Keaton, Joan Baez, Fred Armisen, and Cypress Hill is the musical guest.
Wow. That didn't really sell me there.
Wow.
The guest lineup might have sold me. I'm fascinated in doing it live, but I don't really.
Oh, so that's right, because but it's live to tape on Jimmy Kimmel and all those have always been. Did Johnny Carson not do it live? No, I guess he didn't.
I think they've always recorded.
Yeah, they recorded that like 5:30 Burbank time.
Yeah,
I think.
Yeah, I think all those late night shows have always been. There's occasional where they go live. Like I think maybe after the Oscars, Kimmel has done some live stuff, maybe, but I'm not sure.
What else are you watching tonight, my man?
We've also got a new show on Netflix for people who are interested in reality shows or romance. It's a new season of Temptation Island. It seems like we're getting a new island show every year. Couples are tempted to sever old ties and explore new romances with eligible singles on the island.
So I have, for whatever reason, I've watched a Swedish drama and a Norwegian drama on Netflix. So now in my queue, I'm getting a bunch of this stuff. So like the Polish edition of one of these Temptation Islands is popping up is the thing that they're trying to get me to watch now.
Where was I?
It's not going to happen, but
I can't remember where I was.
All Polish women look the same, by the way.
But one of the TVs had Deal or No Deal Island on. No, there was a deal or no deal on an island or something like that.
Yeah, it was
I've seen
in a
I've seen
restaurant.
that promoed, yeah.
It was the dude that was in True Blood, and the guy that was married to Sofia Vergara. He was the host. Joe, I can't say his last name.
Yeah,
big
but-
Steelers fan.
Yeah, I've seen it promoted.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It makes no sense.
I
Like
don't know
you-
what they're doing.
Like you got to swim to get the case or
Something like that,
I'm telling you, the best ever, Jeeves, and you won't remember this. It was called Joe Millionaire, and they found this dude that was just kind of a bum, no ambition,
I
lived
did
in
like
a trailer.
this,
And they got this collection of just money-grabbing skanks, and they brought him to this mansion, and they had him ride in it on a horse. And so the backstory was this guy, came from generations of wealth, and one of these women was going to have the opportunity to be his future. And at the end of the show, they had to pop the knowledge that he was a broken down construction
this guy
worker.
doesn't live in a castle.
It was pretty awesome.
But you still love him, right?
Hey, they're not together now.
Yeah.
I don't know if that's surprising or not.
And then also, if you don't want to watch anything on streaming, tonight there's a little bit of a double feature on FXM. At 6:40, you've got Dawn of the Planet of the Apes, and then immediately after at 9:20, War for the Planet of the Apes. I really like the
nothing like
of
a
the
Planet
Apes
of the Apes marathon.
That's
right. I love them.
The original still disturbs me. That couple scenes in that one.
Take your hands off me, you dirty ape. No, I was as a kid, man, seeing the Statue of Liberty, trying to get. Can you explain what's going on here?
What
is
happened?
this gonna happen?
No.
Did you guys ever see the movie Heaven Can Wait? The original? Well,
yes.
not the original. The second one with Warren Beatty, and it was nominated for Best Actor, Best Screenplay, Best Director, Best Picture.
He's the Rams quarterback?
Won most of them, yeah. So anyway, I just got this text from my buddy Scott Banks, who lives in Denver. He said, I thought you would find this funny, but Joe Pendleton, who was the character, Warren Beatty, was supposed to die. Remember when he got to heaven and they had pulled him early?
Yep.
And they're like, oh, you're not supposed to be here until March 20th of 2025.
Oh, wow.
So that's coming up next week.
Oh, man. His clock's ticking. His clock is ticking.
Yeah, so Pendleton's only got another week to go.
Yep.
That's insanity. And the deal was in that
they had to go back and find a body.
Find a body.
Yeah.
Would you like to be the Rams quarterback? And they put him in the Rams quarterback.
Yeah,
body.
because he ended up Fonsdale. What was his name? I've seen it a million times, but he became the billionaire quarterback. Got everybody to come out and train him. It's really a good movie, though.
Oh, it was really good. All right, that's what he's watching tonight. Michelson Laser Vision brings you that viewing menu. One more time about Michelson, LT.
205-969-8100. Ask for Amy. Tell her the next round sent you. For more information, michelsonlaservision.com.
We'll hear from the pilot on landing a plane in their next segment. We'll also, when we come back, do our football spotlight. But there is one trend about Alabama basketball that CBS Sports of 10 things you need to know before you fill out your bracket Sunday. And number one on the 10 things you got to know about your bracket before you fill it out on Sunday, number one is a concerning stat about Alabama.
Oh, dear.
We'll share with you what that concerning stat is about Alabama when we come back right here on TNR.
Call the next round now at 205-734-0923.
I'm attorney Alexander Shinar, Alabama born, Alabama raised, and ready to fight for your rights. I have one of the largest firms in Alabama, and we are here to help you get the compensation you deserve. Call me, Alabama, 323-1000.
Your representation states that the quality of legal services being performed is greater than those of other lawyers.
Storm season is here. Make sure you have a plan of action in place right now. Greg from Pell City and Storm Restoration Roofing should be your first call when storms hit. Insurance companies love working with Storm Restoration Roofing because of Greg Nelson's name and reputation in the industry. When storms hit, call Greg Nelson. He's local, 205-542-3531. He's the home of the free no-cost roof inspection. Greg from Pell City on Facebook, 205-542-3531. It's Storm Restoration Roofing. What a great time of year to be online with our friends at MyBookie.ag, MyBookie.ag, where right now you get a major current sign-up bonus, a 50% deposit bonus up to $1,000, plus a $10 casino chip when using the code NEXTROUND. That's code NEXTROUND. We're talking about all the madness of March, the NBA playoff race, the start of Major League Baseball, and it's all for you right now online when using the code NEXTROUND. Go sign up today, MyBookie.ag, code NEXTROUND.
Stop by the New York Butcher Shop and pick up the finest in certified Angus prime beef steaks and burgers, premium pork chops, ribs, and all-natural chicken cut to order just for you. Their chef-prepared entrees and side dishes are the perfect dinner-to-go choice for your family and are ready to heat at home. With a great selection of fine wines and desserts, the New York Butcher Shop is your one-stop dinner shop. 2 locations to serve you, Cahaba Heights and on Highway 119 in Greystone. The New York Butcher Shop. Rare quality, well-done service.
Just because you've quit going to the gym, it doesn't mean that you have to quit gym altogether. Dunaway, that is. With our Next Round podcasts open 24/7, 365, you can access gym anytime you'd like. While you may have done away with your treadmill routine, our version of Dunaway is standing by ready to get you back to your absolute best. Find all that lovely Jimmy D-led content on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, and in the podcast section of nextroundlive.com. This message is sponsored by Jimmy Crypto Inc. and Jimmy Crypto for President.
It's bow time. Tired of choosing between sweet and savory? Why not have both? Introducing Bojangles' new Chicken and Bowberry Waffles. The bold Cajun chicken filet you love, now drizzled with a Bowberry honey glaze and sandwiched between 2 warm waffles. Which means your favorite meal of the day just met your new favorite dish. And lucky for you, it's served all day. But it's only here for a limited time, so try Chicken and Bowberry Waffles at Bojangles today. It's bow time.
By now, you guys know how I feel about my fashion. However, did you know that I care about your fashion choices? Cargo shorts are out, flip-flops are only appropriate on the boat, and please throw away that stained t-shirt from college. You may be thinking, EG, that's all I own. What do I do? Here's what you do. Go to nextround.store and fill your cart with a wardrobe that is approved by me. Stock up on logo t-shirts, hoodies for football season, and hats for every day of the week. Trust me on this one and head over to nextround.store to get stocked up for this season.
Looking to expand your business? Let the Next Round help you. Contact us, sales@nextroundlive.com, and be part of the team. Advertise your product to hundreds of thousands of potential customers on our ever-expanding platforms. The Next Round can take your business to the next level. Join our existing partners in the fastest-growing media space, both live and on demand, while reaching the most desirable audience for your business. Get more information by emailing sales@nextroundlive.com, and one of our team members will work with you to build a plan to take your business to the next level using the Next Round.
I'm attorney Alexander Shinar, Alabama born, Alabama raised, and ready to fight for your rights. I have one of the largest firms in Alabama, and we are here to help you get the compensation you deserve. Call me, Alabama, 323-1000.
No representation is made that the quality of legal services being performed is greater than those of other lawyers.
Jim Dunaway, Lance Taylor, Ryan Brown. Live from the Birmingham Racecourse Casino Studios, the Next Round, presented by Bud Light, is on now.
Final hour of the show brought to you by our friends at Champies. ACC tournament's underway. Virginia is beating Georgia Tech 5-4. Early in that one, things can change. All the tournaments are going now as we get to Selection Sunday, including the SEC tournament, which I think goes at the top of the hour at 12 noon with South Carolina and Arkansas. Have we sent it out yet, our picks for today's games?
I just got mine to Taylor. That's why
I'll send mine right
100%
now.
100% on me. 100% on me.
Taylor, I'm sending them right now.
I just sent them to Taylor.
Okay, so we do not. I'm being told you do not have that graphic yet.
Yeah, Scott, Scott, I just sent them to Taylor.
Scott, do you have that graphic?
That's a negative, Jim.
Has Taylor built that graphic yet?
Just now. Literally last commercial break, Scott, I sent them to Taylor. So have your eyes peeled.
Yeah.
Have you sent yours yet, or you sent it now?
I'm sending it right now.
Okay, so I was second, Scott, not third.
Our coverage,
I'll be on the lookout.
Okay.
Our coverage in Nashville being brought to you.
Is this to cover or just win?
It's straight up
money line.
Yeah, money line.
Our friends at Vulcan Tire and Automotive bringing you our coverage in Nashville this week. We're looking forward to being up there with them, and one of the things that they'll be doing is our picks every day, which you'll see on our social media platform at Next Round Live here pretty soon. Brought to you by the wonderful folks at Vulcan Tire and Automotive.
Yeah, if you're heading to a college basketball this March, dead battery's not going to get you there. Before you take the next road trip, take your vehicle down to Vulcan Tire and Automotive for the comprehensive battery check. We here at the Next Round trust our vehicles with the team at Vulcan Tire and Auto. We encourage you to do so as well. Locations all across the Birmingham area. Find out more information, VulcanTireandAuto.com. Mention Next Round. You're going to get the best tire pricing in town, guaranteed. And how about this? 15% off any and all mechanical services when you mention the Next Round at one of those great locations of Vulcan Tire and Auto.
In fact, tell them I should come by go by today and get my oil change.
You should. Just say next round. 15% off just right there. Just say next round.
Yeah, next round. Also this hour brought to you by our friends at Champy's World Famous Fried Chicken. Listen, storm's pretty serious on Saturday. I don't know about you guys. I like to eat a little comfort food. If the storms are bad outside, just makes me feel better. Nothing more comfortable than the great fried chicken at Champy's World Famous Fried Chicken on Highway 119 in Alabaster. I've had a chance a couple of times in the last few days because my dad's still in the hospital down there in Alabaster, swinging by and seeing Sterling and the crew. Just fantastic food. Just makes me feel like I'm at home when I'm there with Sterling and the guys there. Champy's Chicken, it's cooked to order, brined overnight, hand-cut chicken fingers, all the great sides, Mississippi Delta recipe tamales, and so much more. Champy'sChicken.com, Highway 119 in Alabaster. Go by, say hi to Sterling. Just wonderful folks right there. Okay. There's a trend out here. It's not. If you've been watching Alabama basketball, it's not going to shock you here.
Does it have to do with defense?
Actually, defense has improved. Alabama is very close.
So tell me this.
Yeah,
first,
but you look in their losses.
I know.
Because Landmine Believer said Jim made a big deal about Alabama's defense since the Auburn loss. Where is Auburn now in the last since they've lost 2 games? You have to go to the Torvik for this.
Okay, you're going to have to give me a second to go to the Torvik.
Well, while you pull those up, let me give you what the folks at CBSSports.com, the guy who writes this story is Isaac Trotter, put this out yesterday. 10 trends, angles, things you need to know before you fill out your bracket. Of all the things you need to know before you fill out your bracket, the number one thing is inside a concerning trend for Alabama. It is their interior defense, LT, not even their exterior defense, interior.
Yeah, I didn't know Amorie was supposed to go 7 of 7 any game from the field.
Yeah, but he's supposed to play good defense.
Yeah. I mean, it was more about bringing in a physical edge, a guy that could actually, could get the boards, could block some shots, could be a post presence on the defensive side. You didn't need his offense.
Here we go. Janai, 34 points, 8 rebounds. Condon, 27 points, 10 rebound. Mississippi State's Keyshawn Murphy, 18 points, 11 rebound. Kentucky's Amari Williams, 17 points, 11 rebounds, 6 assists. Big Z for Arkansas, 27 points, 7 rebounds. Missouri's Mark Mitchell, 31 points, 3 rebounds, 3 assists. Purdue's Trey Kaufman-Wren, 26 points, 8 rebounds. Oregon's Nate Biddle, 19 points, 9 rebounds. Ole Miss's Malik Dia, 23 points, 19 rebounds. Those men on the inside have had historic days.
Well, didn't we?
Some call them career days.
Didn't we just a couple of days ago point out guys that have had their either season high or career high?
You know what's ironic about that? And I saw Auburn send this out. Broome had a season high against Alabama Saturday.
Career high, I think 34.
I think it was a career high, but I'm certain it was a season high, and that just added to this. Now, obviously, Alabama won the game, and they won a lot of these games.
Yeah, they won a lot of these.
Yeah,
a couple of the losses are in there too. But here, and this is his point here on what you need to know before Selection Sunday. So look and see who Alabama plays in the tournament.
Okay.
He says there are a couple of teams that pop up that would be good for Alabama to play and bad for Alabama to play. Good for Alabama to play, they say, a team like Marquette. Mm-hmm. Not a lot of interior strength there. Alabama, they think, would just handle Marquette with the team they have. A team that would be bad for Alabama to play, the team that's favored to win the American, Memphis. Now, we saw this in Huntsville. Remember how physical that game was?
So much so they said, we're not going to let people foul out.
They said that Memphis would be a bad matchup for Alabama in the NCAA tournament.
I can't remember how that game even played out.
It played out 3.5 hours.
Yeah, I was about to say it was such a long game.
Yeah. I mean, Alabama won. Alabama had the big lead. They let Memphis get back into it, and Alabama won by like 10 or something like that.
Dane Danja, am I saying that right, Brown? You did. Danja. Yeah.
Don't you remember AK making fun of that? He's like, Danja Dunaway?
Yeah, Danja Dunaway.
Yeah, Dane Danja is their big guy, and he's a really good player.
Yeah, I would say this, man. Did you guys, what was the most dominated Alabama was in any one game?
Well, I mean, they played really good against Auburn to get that win on Saturday.
Yeah, but just as far as a dominant win?
Yeah. for me, their best win.
I'm talking about their worst loss.
Their worst loss.
Yeah.
Their worst loss was at home to Ole Miss.
Yeah,
or in Missouri.
Ole Miss is not the bunch of guards. Mark Mitchell, who you mentioned, he's a big guard. He's 6'9", but he's a guard.
Well, they got Dia. They got the Dia kid.
Yeah, but I'm just saying, like, Ole Miss is guard oriented.
Yeah. And Missouri's nothing but guards, right? And
Pretty much. Yeah.
Is it them or Vandy that lists everybody as guards?
I think it's Vandy. Actually,
Vandy does. Yeah.
Over your last 4 games, now I don't spend a whole lot of time on Torvik, so I am going to ask for forgiveness if I screw this up. I'm going to ask for forgiveness in advance. But I think this is what...
Sounds like a Star Trek character, by the way.
What?
The Torvik.
The Bart Torvik. I think this is what Lamb, I Believer wanted you to point out yesterday because... All right, what was the stat you gave about Alabama? Was it like last 4 games?
Going into the Auburn game, since the Auburn loss, they were 79th defensively nationally in the Torvik.
How many games do you think that is?
That was Missouri loss, 2 wins,
That's 3.
and then 2 losses, 5 games.
5 games. So I've only got 4 right here. Over the last 4 games, Auburn is at the Torvik is number 1 in their adjusted offensive efficiency, number 1 in the nation. They're 102nd in the nation in their adjusted defensive efficiency. I think that was the stat he was pointing out. That's only 4 games. I could add a 5th if y'all want to. In that same time frame, I'm getting to something here. In that same time frame, Alabama's 3rd in the nation offensively, 31st defensively. If you look at where Alabama is on the Pomeroy, on the Ken Pom, they are 4th in the nation offensively currently, 32nd defensively. So it's their last 4 are pretty comparable to their
whole national
their whole
numbers.
picture.
Yeah.
Which interestingly, let me call a quick timeout here. A 30. Interestingly enough, we give you the stat. Every national championship since 2002 has been won by a team that finished in the top 25 defense, top 40 offense, and Alabama's within striking distance of that now because they're at 32 today with Ken Pom defensively. It involves all the games you play, so it's at the end of the season. If they play good enough defense in the tournament to win it, obviously they'd be in the top 25.
Well,
so they're within striking distance.
Let's just go back to something we brought up last week. Alabama's defense at the end of 24 was worse than their defense or equally as bad as the defense has been in these losses to end 25.
Oh, I think it was worse last year. I really do.
Statistically, we kind of went through it. I mean, it was very, very close. Point there is Alabama was limping in, it looked defensively, and they go to a Final Four.
That's right, because they started playing better defense, I thought.
In this same time frame that I've just pointed out.
Specifically, Nick Pringle played his butt off in the NCAA tournament last year. And
now he's playing at South Carolina.
And now he could be playing his last game today.
Was Pringle the kid that caught the flight with Taylor?
That was him.
Yep.
Here's the one thing I wanted to get to. In that same time frame I just gave you on the Torvik, where Auburn has struggled defensively, it's just 4 games, but that's an alarming trend. And they've lost 2 of those 4, by the way, Texas A&M and Alabama, where defense was an issue in both. Do you know the Duke is the best team in that window? Do you know who the second best team is? There's a reason I bring this up, and he sits right here.
Georgia.
The Georgia Bulldogs. You like the way they're playing, don't you?
You know, we're about to thread a needle, fellas, when we get to our graphic here in a sec. I'm just going to say that.
They are 12th.
We're about to thread a needle.
They're 12th in the nation offensively, 12th in the nation defensively over the last 4 games. Now, again, that is a 4-game window, but it's why you like Georgia.
Yeah,
you like the way
I need
played.
Georgia to win today, which is going to be tricky.
You like the way they've played coming into this tournament, though.
Yeah, absolutely.
Hey, before we get to our Shannara Spotlight here for college football, one more time, Brownie, mybookie.ag. Tell us the point spreads for the SEC tournament today, which has 4 games, 3 of them, maybe all 4 of them, with NCAA tournament bids and seeding impact.
Yeah, absolutely, Jimmy D. And you can play right now at mybookie.ag, code next round, mybookie.ag, code next round. And that code is going to get you a 50% sign-on bonus up to $1,000. And they're also going to add in that $10 casino chip. That's all right there at mybookie.ag, code next round. That's how they welcome you into tournament season. Here are your lines today. All right, you guys stop me if anything jumps out at you. If you're like, ooh, I like that one. Especially you, Dunaway. I like it when you like them. I like to hear it. Arkansas -4 as they play South Carolina. Seems like it would be bigger, honestly.
But I, for some reason, like Arkansas, giving the points.
Okay. Texas and Vanderbilt. Vanderbilt's -2.5 playing the desperate Texas Longhorns.
I take Texas on the money line here.
I've got Texas as well.
Texas on your money line is +120.
I don't even need the points. I don't need them.
It's not football season. Mississippi State, the biggest favorite of the day. They are -9 tonight against the LSU Tigers.
Yeah, I mean, I would be shocked. Mississippi State has been so inconsistent, but I would be shocked if they lost this game.
And then your late game tonight at mybookie.ag is currently the Georgia Bulldogs -4 as they play the Oklahoma Sooners, slated 8:30 start time for that. All those at mybookie.ag, code next round to get that 50% sign-up bonus up to $1,000 and that $10 casino chip at mybookie.ag.
The College Football Spotlight
is presented by our guy, Alexander Shinara. The Shinara Spotlight every single day as we talk college football here on the show, as always. As you know, the Alexander Shinara trial attorneys have long been working right here in Birmingham. You might not know it's been 24 years now, though. 24 years and cooking for our guy, Alexander Shinara. And their mission has been creating a law firm that handles any issue that Alexander's community face. That is this community. They handle not only personal injury claims, but claims for fire and storm damage, bad drug and device claims, disability, workers' compensation, and a host of other claims. If you find yourself in need of a lawyer, call the Alexander Shinara Trial Attorneys. You pay nothing unless they win your case. Shinara.com.
By the way, if you just like fading Dunaway in basketball, I like Arkansas giving the points, Texas in the money line, Mississippi State giving the points, Oklahoma money line. I like Oklahoma to win outright against Georgia tonight.
Hashtag fade Dunaway.
Yeah, if you want to fade Dunaway, if you want to get that T-shirt, you can do that at Next Round Live. Hit the merch store there. Joel Klatt sounding the alarms too, off of what Matt Rule said out loud. Why, when we play 9 conference games, do we want to play games like Tennessee? Why do we want to play games like that? These are the best out-of-conference games we have coming up this year, and you tell me if you think these type games will continue on.
Okay.
Texas and Ohio State in Columbus, part of a home-and-home. You have this year, you've got LSU at Clemson, both those opening weekend games there. Notre Dame is at Miami. Clemson, South Carolina, they play each other all the time. It's a rivalry. Shouldn't have read that one out loud, Jim. Florida and Miami playing each other. Michigan and Oklahoma playing each other. Texas A&M and Notre Dame, the return game in South Bend. Alabama and Florida State. Are you as concerned as Joel Klatt and others about these out-of-conference games moving forward? LTU first.
I mean, it depends. If it ends up costing teams getting into the college football playoff, yeah. Because why would you schedule them? I thought that we would have more of these games because we've got more bids. So we talked about teams absorbing maybe that third loss and still getting in. But when the SEC and the Big Ten continue to get more difficult, I don't know.
I mean, part of me, though, says they still have to sell season ticket packages to make money the way they want to in these athletic departments, right?
Right.
You know, the SEC could expand to 9 games, which gives you maybe one more good home game, but some years it doesn't. Some years you don't get that extra home game out of it. Are people still going to buy season ticket packages if all they get to see is Central Michigan, Lafayette, and
Mercer's there?
Mercer.
You know what? You're not going to have to worry about people selling their season tickets moving forward.
Right.
If that's
yeah, but if you're trying, there's another angle on it, though, Lance. Like if you're trying to control the secondary market and make the money off that, nobody's going to be selling those tickets. So I don't think it's ever going to go away because I think now one loss isn't as devastating as it once was. There was a reason you didn't want to play these games if one loss killed you for the season. I get that.
Yeah, but if I'm Brian Kelly, like I don't want this Clemson game this year. Like I have lost every one of my openers, and the last thing I need to do after beating, the table post game last year, losing to USC, is to go out and lose to Clemson again when I've got all of this pressure in year 4. I would rather open the season with South Alabama.
Yeah. Another good example is Texas A&M. They got a tough enough schedule as it is. Now I got to go play in South Bend against Notre Dame.
Well, can you imagine if they didn't open last year? And Brown, I don't know. I guess I could pull it real quick. If you didn't open with Notre Dame last year,
yeah,
I mean, what kind of buzz do you have? Because we were talking about A&M as a playoff contender deep into November.
Yeah. Oh, even after they lost to Auburn, if they had beaten Texas, were they not still in the mix?
If they beat Texas, they went to the SEC championship game.
Yeah.
So they were going to be in the playoffs. Yes.
Yeah. So, I mean, that's even coming off of a loss to Auburn. If they hadn't played Notre Dame, they'd have been a virtual lock.
Yeah, so the bottom did fall out on Texas A&M, but I mean, just going back, if they don't play that game, they would have opened.
If they had just played UTSA.
Yeah, which they opened with this year. Damn, they would have opened. Let's just say they would have had a gimme. They would have been 8-0.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, they would have been in the playoffs. The Notre Dame game probably realistically cost them a shot at the playoffs.
Well, and even let's just say that they still lose to Texas and South Carolina, but if they would the 3 or the 4 overtime game against Auburn goes the other way, they win that at 10-2, they get in. More than likely.
Absolutely. So I see both sides of it. I just think they're going to want to sell season tickets moving forward, so they're going to keep doing these games.
Something to keep an eye on as we move forward and continue to adjust. That's our Spotlight today, brought to you by Shannara.
Shannara.com is where you start. Alexander Shannara, trial attorneys, Shannara.com. The chat room thinks we've forgotten the pilot.
No, we have not.
Okay.
We have not. 2 things here and then the pilot conversation again. Less than an hour ago when we brought up, could we land a plane?
Yes.
Forrester, I don't even know if you have the picture, but the day after the hideous decision on the Major League Baseball hats, somebody got paid to say, all right, we're going to host this college basketball tournament, and this is the floor we're going to put out there to play all of our conference tournament games on.
Yeah.
This is the Big 12 tournament floor. Now, is this a men's game or a women's game? They're playing it on the same floor.
Yeah, same floor.
Yeah.
I saw it last week in the women's tournament because we always have ESPN on here one day, and one day they went away from Sports Center for a women's Big 12 game or something like that, so it was still on. And
Look, it's live right here now on TV too.
So what you may not be able to see in the design is that is XII. All those designs on the court are 12.
Oh, wow.
Yeah,
I thought they were little footballs.
Well, I thought footballs.
Yeah,
basketball.
Let me say this. It's like I'm laying on a couch. You're showing me a drawing. I see little footballs.
When you stream a show
test.
now, the first thing that pops up in the left is the rating and why it's rated that.
That is correct.
And now a lot of it is flashing lights. They have to put that warning. Are you going to have to start putting this on courts where people don't have seizures?
I guess so. I mean, it is a very disconcerting court, I would have to say.
Yeah.
I thought it was like snakeskin or something. I was trying to determine
when
I first saw it.
Looks like a woman's handbag.
Yeah, I was trying to determine what the thought behind snakeskin was, and then I saw a closer up shot just a moment ago when they were warming up, and it's XII.
Yeah, imagine if Gucci was a title sponsor. They could have that Gucci logo all over it like that.
Such a weird sponsor.
I guarantee the Big 12 would sell it.
Yeah. Oh, they would. In fact, they're trying to sell the league name, aren't they? To
Are they?
something Big 12.
Well, I'll tell you what.
Call me crazy, but like I see a court like this, and if I'm in marketing for McDonald's, I'm like, McDonald's is going to sponsor this. We could do the arches, but I almost would put French fries. Like I do a big McDonald's and then just have a bunch of fries out there just because everybody be talking about
Or
it.
like a big mural of all the McDonald's characters. Like you got Ronald at half court. You got Grimace on one side.
Brandon says if you stare long enough, you see Caitlin Clark. You remember the old Magic Eye posters back
Yeah.
You'd be standing outside that store in the gallery. You're like, God, I know I'll see it at some point, but I just do not see
I
it.
would get
that
dizzy, though.
That dolphin's jumping over the wave.
You almost had to cross your eyes to do it.
You always had to like blur them or whatever.
Okay. Back to the pilot.
Okay, I got it. This is a DM to the show. Gentleman listening to the show in Gunnersville. Not going to give airline, but pilot of an airline says this.
Okay. Of a commercial airline?
Commercial airline that you are very well aware of. I'm just not going to name the airline. I don't want somebody giving information.
It's not Pan Am or Eastern, right?
It is not Pan Am or Eastern.
Does it sound like Melta?
The largest jets can land and taxi on their own.
They can land on their own?
That's what he says. 777 in that type, or the 777, the 777 and that type can land and taxi on their own, and the pilots are never allowed to eat the same thing.
They can't eat the same thing.
Oh, so the food doesn't get poisoned.
Mm-hmm.
If they poison it, it only gets one
kills
of them.
one pilot, yeah. So according to very large known commercial airline pilot that flies these big things and is listening to our show from his home, thank you, those planes can land themselves. So I like my odds a lot better right now. Like at some point...
Well, I would rather the plane try to land it than you.
Well, no, there's no doubt. But at some point they're going to say, okay, we just need you to hit a few buttons here and then don't touch anything else.
Yeah. See, I would be scared that you would jack those buttons up.
But see, in my head, before he said that, I would have guessed that the autopilot could take you down to a certain level, but
And then
the
it's all
last
me?
few feet had to be done by a
I mean,
human.
I hate to bring up the obvious, but when we had Clay on
about
yesterday,
to
he
say
was
this.
talking about the car that he was in, and he said, "I'm not going to be surprised in another generation if nobody is buying cars or driving their own cars. Are we going to get to that point with planes?"
I wouldn't think so. I mean, it's weird that car accidents are far more prevalent than airplane crashes, but I'm willing to maybe roll the dice with a car. I'd never roll the dice with an airplane on that. Because I got to think, like, they can land on autopilot, but in bad weather, there's no way they just let the autopilot
Well,
land.
and it also
Right.
goes back to you can survive a car crash. Plane crash, boy.
No, there's just very little
Yeah.
survival in that.
I wouldn't want to be in one of the self-driving cars, though. We had that story on Trash a while back of the one guy who took a self-driving car to the airport, and the car just drove in circles in the parking lot.
Yep.
Yeah.
I remember that. And he got locked in. He couldn't get out.
Yeah, you can't get out.
Yeah.
You have to
But
hit that
I would
emergency
be
stop button.
Yeah, no thank you.
I
You
hate
can
flying. I would be
unlock it.
more at ease if I was driving across the country with a driverless car than flying across the country with a regular pilot.
Yeah.
But that's just me.
That is fascinating. I knew that they could do a lot of stuff on autopilot. I did not know landing was part of it for the big planes. So people are in the chat are saying, what about the regional airlines? If this gentleman is still listening, maybe he can answer that. I don't know how small
You know what
we have
I
to go.
think would make the most sense, and you just pay them double? Air marshals learn how to fly. They have their pilot's license.
Yeah, I would agree with you.
So you have an air marshal,
yeah.
and they serve two purposes. If all hell breaks loose and both pilots go down, they can land the plane.
They can stop the threat and fly and land the plane.
In a couple weeks, I'm flying to D.C. I don't know if you guys have ever flown into Reagan at D.C.
yeah.
And that is unfortunately where that helicopter accident happened recently. But I don't know if it's every flight that is direct from Birmingham. Probably not. But the times I have flown into D.C. from Birmingham, you are over water for a very long time, like low over water. And we learned that in that crash. And you see land, and as soon as you see land, they're putting it down. Like, I feel like the margin for error is very, very small there if an autopilot is doing it.
Have you ever flown into St. Martin?
Oh, Lord, no.
Have you seen our friend, our buddy? I won't say her name, but they're down there.
We always treat people like they're on the run from the law. We never say where they are.
Oh, yeah. No, so, well, I know you went to
Montego Bay.
Montego Bay.
Yeah.
It's just nonstop planes if you're going to, and I think they have got a separate airport now in Jamaica.
But would you have stood there that close? Watch how close it gets.
No, that looks
I've
like.
seen that video. Yeah, people on the beach and it's flying
everybody
right
does
over
it,
them.
yeah.
Yeah.
And then especially with
And
the
I don't know
middle
how you
school-
relax in that water. That's one of the reasons I didn't want to go to Montego Bay.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, everybody's taking pictures the next flight in. And
Yeah, it's a thing to do. Just sit
Now,
there.
if I was the pilot, that's when I'm dropping the waist. Everybody taking a picture.
That seems like that's an international crime. All right. When we come back, we've got trash, a couple more basketball notes to get to, and we'll discuss Tiger Woods' latest injury and the NFL. Oh, man, a lot to get to. Show brought to you by a couple of great folks, including our friends at Odie's. It is Wednesday night.
That means Odie's Team Trivia. We do it every Wednesday. The original location in Crestline. Me, Brown, Will Haver will be out there tonight. Get there early. Enjoy some of that great food from Rodney Davis. I did that last week. Met a couple of buddies up there. Enjoyed that south of the border roll-up. Not only the great sandwiches, fantastic burgers, award-winning wings, ice-cold beer buckets full of the Bud Light. And we will be at the Odie's, the secondary location. What did I miss?
You could hear his mic.
Okay.
Forrester saying, I got it on what the next ad is. I send him hand signals on what the next ad is.
That was an interesting signal.
Yeah.
Sunday, though, from 5 to 7, our selection show. We're going to be live 4 to 6, the Edgewood location of Odie's. Come join us there. They're going to open up early for the SEC championship game. So great food, great fun all weekend long right there at Odie's Tavern.
And our friends at Urology Centers of Alabama. If you've got pain in your life, you don't know what's causing it, Urology Centers of Alabama can help you. But early detection is so important, guys. Stay on top of your health. They can do it. 16 wonderful locations. 205-930-0920, 930-0920, or visit urologycentersalabama.com. Prostate health to kidney stones and everything in between, vasectomies, they do it all. Our friends at UCA, Urology Centers, Alabama.com.
Everything Next Round is on demand now in the podcast section at nextroundlive.com.
I'm attorney Alexander Shinar, Alabama born, Alabama raised, and ready to fight for your rights. I have one of the largest firms in Alabama, and we are here to help you get the compensation you deserve. Call me, Alabama, 323-1000.
No representation is made that the quality of legal services being performed is greater than those of other lawyers.
If you are a business that does a lot of printing, like a car dealership, mortgage company, real estate office, tax office, bank, school, or university, print more and spend less with ImageCraft. ImageCraft is located at 1151 Gadsden Highway in Trussville, just down from the Pinnacle Shopping Center, and online at imagecraft.net. They carry all the major brands like HP, Brother, Canon, Dell, Lexmark, Konica Minolta, Kyocera, Ricoh, Sharp, and Xerox. Shop in-store, mention TNR for a 10% discount. Shop online at imagecraft.net with coupon code TNR10. ImageCraft. Print more, spend less.
Hey, there's nothing worse than waking up to a plumbing problem. Don't get caught in a flooded house. Call the guys at Hemphill Services. Adam, Chad, and the team at Hemphill are the only ones I trust to fix it and fix it right the first time. Hemphill Services does it right and always at a fair price. For all of your plumbing, cooling, and heating needs, trust the name that Birmingham has trusted since 1954. That is Hemphill Services. Call now, 205-229-2090. That's 205-229-2090.
Storm season is here. Make sure you have a plan of action in place right now. Greg from Pell City and Storm Restoration Roofing should be your first call when storms hit. Insurance companies love working with Storm Restoration Roofing because of Greg Nelson's name and reputation in the industry. When storms hit, call Greg Nelson. He's local, 205-542-3531. He's the home of the free no-cost roof inspection. Greg from Pell City on Facebook, 205-542-3531. It's Storm Restoration Roofing.
Hey, for all of your IT and printing needs, reach out to our friends at Xerox Business Solutions. Look, I'm still one of those old school guys. I print my notes every single day for the show. If you watch the show here on the Next Round, you see all the notes in front of me. From day one, Xerox Business Solutions, they've been with us here at the Next Round. Local for over 45 years. For all of your IT and printing needs, visit XeroxBusinessSolutions.com or call 205-969-3000. That's 205-969-3000.
Looking for a great place for that boring meeting? Leave the office and go to the Golfus. What about corporate events like board meetings, sales meetings, customer appreciation events? How about the Golfus? Watch parties for football and basketball, parties for birthdays or couple showers. The Golfus is a great place for those. The Golfus has Birmingham's best golf simulators and man caves in Vestavia on Highway 31, opening soon in Trussville and on Highway 280. Bring whatever you want to eat or drink, even bring your own clubs. Get out of the office. Go to the Golfus. Book your spot now at thegolfus.com.
Stop by the New York Butcher Shop and pick up the finest in certified Angus prime beef steaks and burgers, premium pork chops, ribs, and all-natural chicken cut to order just for you. Their chef-prepared entrees and side dishes are the perfect dinner-to-go choice for your family and are ready to heat at home. With a great selection of fine wines and desserts, the New York Butcher Shop is your one-stop dinner shop. 2 locations to serve you, Cahaba Heights and on Highway 119 in Greystone. The New York Butcher Shop, rare quality, well-done service.
It's bow time. Tired of choosing between sweet and savory? Why not have both? Introducing Bojangles' new Chicken and Bowberry Waffles. The bold Cajun chicken filet you love, now drizzled with a Bowberry honey glaze and sandwiched between 2 warm waffles. Which means your favorite meal of the day just met your new favorite dish. And lucky for you, it's served all day. But it's only here for a limited time, so try Chicken and Bowberry Waffles at Bojangles today. It's bow time.
I'm attorney Alexander Shinar, Alabama born, Alabama raised, and ready to fight for your rights. I have one of the largest firms in Alabama, and we are here to help you get the compensation you deserve. Call me, Alabama, 323-1000.
No representation is made that the quality of legal services being performed is greater than those of other lawyers.
Hey, we're back with you on the Next Round. Before LT tells us about our friends at Hemphill, Tiger Woods was going to come back for the, Genesis, his tournament, and ended up pulling out. He missed the deadline to make sure he was in the Players' Championship this week. So he wasn't going to play this week either. But he was training. There was talk of him playing at Augusta for the Masters.
He was probably going to try to get all 4 majors in at least. Yeah, I mean, that would be the bare minimum.
And then he ruptured his Achilles, had a pain, and went to the doctor, ruptured Achilles. That's different than a tear. Right, when it tears and rolls up your leg, that usually takes 12 to 14 months to come back I'm told this is 4 to 6 months.
This, I think it's a legitimate question. Is he the most injured golfer of all time?
Or maybe athlete, Lance? I mean, what athlete has had more injuries that you could think of?
6 known back surgeries.
Uh-huh. I mean, the car accident is a totally separate thing, but that injured his leg to the point that...
And I thought it affected golfers the older you got because of the torque on the back.
Oh, there's no doubt. Yeah, I mean, the golf swing does a lot to your body.
Yeah, he's only 49.
Yeah, but he's got the body of a 70-year-old.
Yeah.
But I can't remember another golfer.
I can't either.
Like, I remember Fred Couples having a bad back, but that was the years and years and years.
But
right?
most of them aren't to Tiger's level of accomplishment. So, golf nerd for 30 seconds here. Tiger has won to a level that he's basically lifetime exempt in all these majors.
Okay, well, let me ask you.
So most guys, when they got hurt, their exemptions run out very quickly. Tiger has done enough that he's lifetime exempt in most of these majors at this point.
Let's talk about guys in the neighborhood. Phil Mickelson. Injuries?
I don't remember a significant one. Now, some of these I'm going to forgive. I don't remember
Roy
super
McIlroy?
Not really.
No.
I mean, all of these guys have probably had a surgery somewhere, or they've had to pull out for a bad back.
But Mickelson, who has lost weight, just coming off a third-place finish in Hong Kong in the Live, he's a name to watch at the Masters in a few weeks.
He's always good there. He looks like Steve Carell now. Did you? I don't know if you saw him any.
I haven't seen that. Jeeves, can we get an updated picture of Phil Mickelson?
Google Phil Mickelson. Were they in Hong Kong? Is that where they were?
They were in the Live event in Hong Kong.
Live Hong Kong, LIV Hong Kong.
But, the thing about Phil is, everybody talks about Tiger living a hard life. I mean, Phil, I don't know if he still gets after it, but he got after it a good while.
Who did?
Phil Mickelson. Oh, yeah.
That picture to the top left, I think.
The top left might be it. There was just a video I was watching where I was like, my gosh, he's lost so much weight. He kind of looks like Steve Carell now. You see Steve Carell in it?
Yeah.
With those glasses and the beard?
Little unshaven former NBC anchor Brian Williams.
Maybe. I
thought you were going to go Matt Lauer.
Oh, no, that's who you're thinking of is Matt Lauer.
Matt Lauer.
Yeah.
You know who it is? It's Steve Carell playing Matt Lauer in that Apple TV show.
Absolutely it is.
The morning show?
Yeah, the morning show. That's what I was thinking of.
That's who it is. That's who it is.
I never got back in after the Steve Carell season. I don't know if I missed anything.
He wasn't in second season very long.
Oh, I know he wasn't, but after that season is when I shut it down.
They haven't done another season since, have they?
No, they did
one year. It was the COVID year.
Oh, God, I hate
the COVID year was...
That was
that.
Yeah, because he was in
But
Italy.
they did 3 seasons.
Yeah.
Have they done 3?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it was not good.
Yeah, Mickelson's lost a good bit of weight, and I don't
Smart to wear black.
Yeah, slims him down.
Yeah.
Hot in the summer.
But the final question on Tiger, will we ever see him be competitive again? Is that it?
I mean, we've doubted this guy for forever, and he has, fairly recently won a major. Now, 2019 is seems like an eternity ago, all that we've been through since 2019. But I just don't know that you'll ever see him. Like, when you see him play at Augusta, he's always going to have the brain to win at Augusta because he knows everything about that course, and that is a knowledge course. He struggles so much there now. And if he's going to struggle there, I don't know where he can
Well,
win.
in the cycle of the 4 majors, let's say over a 20-year period, or 20 majors over a 5-year period, how many 50-plus guys win?
Oh, Mickelson's the oldest guy ever to win a major, and he was
51.
50 and some months, I think. I don't think he was quite 51.
And I remember when Tom Watson at the Open
almost won it. Stuart Sink ended up winning it. Yeah.
When Jack won, was he 48?
Jack was 46, I think, when he won in 86. Yeah.
Yeah, and like you said, Tiger's an old 49.
Oh, yeah, that body is
I
broken.
think, sadly, I think it's probably done.
Yeah.
As LT tells us about Hemphill, the hot comment over the Tiger injury yesterday was let Charlie have his exemption and play in this upcoming event.
Oh.
It would be wonderful television numbers.
No, don't do that. So somebody suggested that?
Yeah, it was all over social
media. To give Charlie a spot in the Players' Championship?
No, the Masters.
Even worse than a major?
Yeah. Boy, I bet the Masters...
That's the dumbest thing I've ever heard.
I'd love to see it.
I bet nobody said that out loud, though.
I would love to see it.
said
It was
that?
all over social media. Fans.
That's the dumbest thing I've ever heard. To give a teenager who hasn't earned a spot.
No, the dumbest thing ever was the Lakers draft in Bronny.
Well, this would be the equivalent of it.
The chat room, would you love to see Charlie play the Masters in Tiger's stead?
That'd be the hokiest thing I've ever seen.
Yeah.
See, I just don't think you need it. Like maybe the Genesis, maybe some random tournament.
Regular tour event, but the freaking Masters?
I want to see him get out there. Tell us about Hemphill.
205-229-2090. Call Adam, Chad, Andrew, the guys there. Whether you experience any plumbing, heating, or cooling issues or home or business, these guys ready to serve you. Trust the name. Birmingham has trusted since 1954 for all of these services. 205-229-2090 or hemphillservices.com.
Excluding Christmas Day, Saturday night Lakers Celtics on ABC, 4.61 million, the most watched NBA regular season game in 7 years.
That's a low number to be your most watched regular season game. 4 million?
I was about to say 4.61 doesn't make top 5 college football on Saturday.
Oh, and it's nowhere close to an NFL regular season, which you've got fewer of those to be fair, but still.
Yeah.
That's a low number to be your biggest game in 7 years.
Yeah. And apparently Denzel Washington and Jake Gyllenhaal, Jeeves, Denzel Washington and Jake Gyllenhaal.
Stage performance of Othello is
that just traditional Othello?
Is it to my knowledge, yeah.
Is it some souped up one with nudity and gunfire or anything? Because
nudity,
it set a record this past week: $2.8 million in gross receipts. It's Othello. What could it be?
Othello.
I hate
to be that guy.
What am I saying?
Othello, like. It's Othello.
I'm not saying
You're changing your vowels. I think you're putting an A as opposed to an O.
No, I thought I was overemphasizing the O at the end.
No.
Othello.
No, you were saying Othello.
Othello. You shut up, fella. I'm talking Othello. Let's do trash. It's brought to you by Mortgage Right. Hit it, Jeeves.
So, what was your inspiration for tonight?
Why?
Be honest with me
How is
and go
it
into
cycled
detail.
so much?
We go way too much on this one.
Even he says it's way too much.
Wow.
LT's Trash is presented by
Shouldn't
Mortgage
even
Right.
exist.
Mortgages done the right way.
Hey, always buying season. Our friends at Mortgage Right here to help. Veteran founded here in Birmingham, offer loans throughout the country. While the area they serve may have grown, their commitment to Birmingham and veterans has not changed. Before you take those next steps on a new home purchase or refinance, talk with the team at Mortgage Right. No cost or obligation. To find out what you qualify for, you can get more information. Go to the website, mortgageright.com. Call 205-900-7200, NMLS 2239, Equal Housing Lender. Gene Simmons back in the news. We mentioned Gene Simmons and Kiss yesterday when Damon Johnson was in studio. But Gene Simmons set to embark on tour dates with his solo band, and he's offering his fans a dream job. The chance to be his personal assistant and roadie for a day.
That's a dream job.
The only catch, you actually have to pay him for it.
Oh.
This guy is the ultimate capitalist.
What a dream. I get to pay you to be a gopher.
Kiss legend kicks off the Spring U.S. Tour with his solo band April 3rd in Anaheim, California. The exclusive meet and greet fan experience runs a whopping $12,495 and is available to only one big spender per concert date. Now, Simmons has always been an entrepreneur, so it's not too surprising to see him offer a package in which he gets paid 5 figures for the extra help. That said, the description on his website doesn't sound like too much work. Those who take the dive on the fan package can bring one guest and will be on, quote, the Gene Simmons band team crew for the entire day. First meeting up at the hotel to go over the day's plan. You'll share a meal with Gene at the hotel or backstage. Help with load-in, sit in on the sound check, hang out backstage, and Simmons will actually bring you on stage at some point during the show.
Did you say help with load-in? I've got to move.
Yeah.
I paid to help move equipment on the stage.
Steve Harvey and the original Kings of Comedy. You raise your hands. I'm paying $37.50 for this damn ticket.
You get a Gene Simmons band crew member VIP laminate.
Wow.
Get a shirt and a hat.
You know, the worst thing about this is you would actually have to watch the concert.
Yeah.
I mean, you arrive and load into the venue with the band. Do you know how early they arrive and how long load-in takes?
Now, the experience also has physical swag, including a signed set list, other items, VIP backstage, lanyard, crew hat / shirt, signed Gene Simmons bass used during a Kiss rehearsal, which at least somewhat justifies that $12,000 $500 price.
Yeah. It says you may bring 4 items for Gene to sign, no instruments, parts, etc.
So I can't get him to sign. I'm going to pay $12,000 and I can't get him to sign a guitar?
Well, they don't want you bringing in 4 guitars and then selling it and then profiting.
Why?
Off of
What does that matter?
I'm paying you $12,000.
I agree.
Yeah, and I was about to say, the capitalist back there, Jeeves, who disagrees with a lot of the ticket policies right now.
You can take photos throughout your entire experience. I bet I can't.
Yeah.
I bet if I'm in the meeting and Gene
I bet he's a dick.
I bet he's got his do-rag on and no makeup, drinking coffee in a pissy mood. I bet he will not let me take that picture.
Is he still with Shannon Tweed?
Of 1980 Cinemax fame?
Yeah, that was his. I don't think they ever got married, or maybe they did. I thought it was more of a Kurt Russell, Goldie Hawn situation.
Yeah. There was a moment in my life, I'd probably seen her boobs more than I had any other set of boobs ever, just from Cinemax, right? She was on
She did a lot of those movies.
Yeah.
Pennsylvania man was going through security at a New Jersey airport, was found to have a live turtle concealed in his pants, according to TSA.
Yeah. Is that a turtle?
No.
Are you just glad to see me?
The turtle detected Friday after a body scanner alarm went off at the Newark Liberty International Airport. TSA officer then conducted a pat-down on the man, determined there was something concealed in the groin area of his pants.
Why are you scared, little fella?
I would think that thing would feel like a cup, wouldn't it?
Yeah, it would protect you like one. Of course, it could also bite certain areas.
Now, when questioned further, the man reached into his pants, pulled out the turtle, which was about 5 inches long, wrapped in a small blue towel. He said it was a red ear slider turtle, a species that is popular as a pet. The man, whose name was not released, was escorted from the check area point by Port Authority police and ended up missing his flight. Turtle was confiscated. It's not clear if the turtle was the man's pet or why he had it in his pants.
It is a good question, sir. Why do you have a turtle in your pants?
Because I was hot.
I understand. Man, not all turtles bite, right? Only snapping turtles?
I don't know.
Well, they got to eat.
Yeah, I wouldn't feel good about that.
I wouldn't either, especially in that part, in that region.
They seem stinky, too.
In a plea deal.
Yeah, I think they do stink.
Florida doctor is admitted to dumping gallons of urine on the front door of a medical practice and has agreed to perform community service, pay restitution, write a letter of apology to the targets of his body waste bombardment, according to records. Now, a judge has approved a pretrial intervention agreement struck by prosecutors with Giovanni Balla, 59-year-old internist arrested last year for criminal mischief. If Balla successfully completes 12-month PTI program, felony count will be dismissed by prosecutors. Now, the agreement states Balla, quote, acknowledges and accepts responsibility for the urine attacks and that such acknowledgement is the first step in rehabilitation. Now, Balla was busted for twice, not once, but twice, dousing a St. Petersburg doctor's office with, quote, gallons of fluid, which had the odor of urine, according to the arrest report.
I'll hear out his side.
Now, the office was occupied by Dr. Dylan Denish, who had purchased Balla's medical practice in 2022. Now, cops reported at the time, quote, in recent months, the defendant became upset with the victim over the business. Now, Dinesh initially occupied the premises owned and previously used by Balla, but moved his business due to, quote, certain contractual breaches, deficiencies, and inappropriate actions on behalf of Dr. Balla, according to a civil filing. Additionally, Dinesh accused Balla of violating contractual obligations, forbidding him from engaging in competitive medical practices.
Oh, so he had the no-compete. So he attacked the no-compete with a bag full of urine.
As stipulated in the PTI agreement, Balla agreed to pay Dinesh $7,570 in restitution, about $1,000 in court costs and fees. Also has to perform 20 hours of community service and be subject to random drug testing and psychological evaluation and treatment.
You put the P in PTI.
The P and no compete.
He's got bloodshot eyes, too.
He does. I think it might have been a late night when he got arrested there. Probably didn't sleep a whole lot in the clink.
I think he's had a little plastic surgery, too, a little eye tuck.
It will never
smooth.
not shock me the amount you can pay to have somebody killed.
The small amount?
How
people do not value human life at all.
How economically you could have someone killed?
I've never seen it below 1,000.
How much have you looked?
How often do you look?
Yeah. So are you going to websites, Jim?
Just in stories.
The wife of Ghost Adventure star Aaron Goodwin, I have no idea who this guy is, got busted in a murder for hire plot, and cops say she tried to pay a hitman to knock off her husband.
Okay.
Now, Victoria Goodwin was arrested last week, booked on 2 charges, solicitation to commit murder and conspiracy to commit murder. Now, after police say she hatched a plan to kill Aaron while he was filming his show with Zach Baggins. Now, according to the arrest report obtained by TMZ, cops say Victoria was messaging an inmate in a Florida prison about getting out of her marriage to Aaron when she asked, quote, am I a bad person because I chose to end his existence not divorce.
Yeah,
End
pretty
quote.
much you are, yes.
Yeah.
I think that is a rhetorical question, I assume.
How do you message with an inmate, by the way?
Yeah.
Now, police say Victoria provided information about Aaron's location and filming times in California where he was filming Ghost Adventures. Cops say Aaron's wife set aside $11,515 to pay the alleged hitman and said the inmate was communicating with messaging a guy about the alleged plot. They went on to say he's asleep right now in the hotel room. I need to know what's going on. Can I get an update? Was it done?
Oh, my
God. Now, this allegedly happened back in October. Aaron is still very much alive, though it's unclear what went down with the alleged hitman. Cops claim there were specific messages about a $2,500 upfront payment. Now, police say they only caught wind of the alleged plot after corrections officers found and seized the inmate's contraband phone at his Florida prison. For her part, police say Victoria denied wanting Aaron to be killed, says she was daydreaming or fantasizing about being without her husband. Cops say she also told them she didn't remember sending the message and doesn't want her husband killed.
Divorce is probably going to be more than $12,500, but also will not carry a life sentence in Supermax prison. So,
yeah, I just don't get
this. You got to balance on these things.
Things get bad, walk.
Yeah.
But again, I think 12,000 is a low number. Like I don't know if you're getting a quality hitman for $12,000.
Clearly, you're not. You're getting a guy in prison.
Guy who's already in prison.
Yeah.
So he's been caught once for doing something.
Yeah, he's not very sneaky.
Yeah. By the way, how bad does that show look? Mad Apple. Doesn't even sound. I've never heard of it.
Is that not what you guys went to see?
Yeah,
Mad Apple.
Y'all went to see
Cirque du
it.
Soleil is where we went Mad Apple. Where the dude pulled me out of the crowd.
Yeah.
Okay.
When we were in Vegas.
Yeah, the Todd Furman-like guy.
Yeah. Okay.
You were ready to dunk on it thinking it was like a CW drama or something.
I was like, this guy's doing it. This is the premiere of Mad Apple. I've never heard of the show.
Yeah, by the way,
I've literally been to it.
Do not recommend Mad Apple, do you?
That is the most done-away ever. He can't remember movies he watched.
I was thinking about a scripted show that he was filming. Because I wasn't thinking about the show we went to.
Did you like it? Lance clearly did not.
I enjoyed the
end when we walked out the door.
No, Cirque du Soleil's got some really good stuff, and I would just say the more artistic version of O at the Bellagio.
Oh, it's fantastic.
Love at the Mirage. Mad Apple at New York. I did not think it was good.
But I did like the because we had great seats. We were row 1, row 2. We were up there.
I didn't go with you guys. If you remember, I chose to spend the night on the Strip. And I actually regretted that. I wish I'd have gone to the show now.
I enjoyed
the Strip's crowded and dirty.
I mean, the tumbling thing where they had the wheels and then he got on the outside of the wheel and he would jump off.
You remember they gave me a pint of beer.
Yeah.
And remember it was swinging around and then it came to me and they handed I don't know how they did it.
Yeah. No, that was interesting too. Your thing was good. We have video of that.
But I just thought they had a couple of comedians that weren't funny. That dude wasn't funny.
Oh, yeah, the comedian was.
But now he was self-deprecating. He was like, I've spent all my life in Hollywood. I was an extra White Walker in Game of Thrones.
Yeah.
If you've ever seen, there's like thousands and thousands of those guys.
But there was like a tumbling wheel that they were on. That was entertaining, but mainly because it looked like he was going to fall on me every time, and then he'd catch that wheel at the bottom and ride it to the top. I don't know. It wasn't bad.
Do you get your money back if they don't make that?
I think I would.
Like if he falls, it hits him, he splits open, body parts are all over the place. You think they reimburse?
Well, do you get your money back if when they did the swinging thing with the beer, if he just hits you in the face with the beer glass?
Oh, yeah, here it is.
Look at Scott, how quick he gets stuff. Yeah. So there's a full beer on there.
Yeah, full beer.
And then it eventually stops and it remains full.
Yeah, like you guys tell me, I don't know where you would that beer would disappear and then a beer would.
Yeah.
No. I've watched it. It never disappeared. The beer is in there. It's gravity's holding it in, right?
Centripetal force.
Yeah.
But I still don't know how you would have a full pint like that.
Yep. I never liked the way he swayed his hips.
Yeah, that is. That's a lot. I would
That's
agree.
some aggressive hip swinging.
It is aggressive hip swing.
Okay, but there, like it slows down.
Yeah, that's where it will begin to spill. I don't know. You drink it.
Yep.
I mean, it was.
Oh, you killed it. I forgot about that. Do you slam the glass down? No. I thought you could bring
I thought about throwing it at him.
Yeah.
Get
You're not
me out
funny.
of this show.
All right. That is Mad Apples. And that is Trash, brought to you by friends at Mortgage Right.
Hey, if you're looking for a new home, our friends at Mortgage Right here to help. Whether you're looking for your first home, your final home, whether you have a big down payment or need 100% financing, Mortgage Right, one-stop shop for mortgages. Visit them online, mortgageright.com. Call 205-900-7200, NMLS 2239, Equal Housing Lender.
God, that video is well shot.
I wonder who the photographer was.
I wonder who shot that.
I did not give you enough credit in the show yesterday It was Dunaway that asked Greg Byrne the question about Eagle staff being in the carry-on luggage, and I gave credit to Lance because it was funny. So I don't give Dunaway enough credit.
You
frequently.
made me laugh.
I don't give Dunaway enough credit frequently, and that was one situation where I did not give him the credit he deserved. That was Jim's question to Greg Byrne. Taylor or Scott one. I don't know who did it. Did the editing?
You caused him a night of sleep. Now you could have
No,
done this yesterday.
I apologized on social media.
I did want to bring it up.
Another round of ammo.
Yeah.
I didn't want to bring it up on the show, but I thought I remembered saying it, but I don't remember things. You guys tell me all the time. I don't remember things correctly.
Yeah. Well, you did in that case. You were on the golf course yesterday, so I did not want to bother you on the golf course and say, you got that.
You didn't have a problem sending me the fact that you had already come this close to
Yeah,
hitting
you
hole
came
in one.
Nat's dick away from another hole in one.
That might be the worst break I've ever gotten on a golf course.
Yeah.
But, I mean, it was millimeters.
It was.
You say that if they had not had the plastic cup inside, if it was like at Augusta National.
Yeah, so some golf courses they've got the cup.
He's not talking down to your golf courses that have this.
Yeah, instead of just the dirt, they'll insert a plastic ring that keeps the hole intact, right?
If you ever have crazy cash where you can have a 3-hole golf course at your property, will it have?
It will not. I don't like those. In fact, a lot of times I pull the ring out when I'm putting because I've had it affect my
Will you
putts.
move your pin placement?
This ball, according to the guy that was at the green, I knew it had hit the pin on the fly. I'm on a par 3, and I could hear it hit the pin on the fly. And he said, no, actually it hit the plastic ring, bounced off that, hit the pin, and then it bounced off the front of the green. I had a 20-foot birdie putt coming back, which I missed.
Yeah. So did you par or did you 3-putt?
I parred. I mean, it was 20-foot putt. Yeah.
No, don't act like you could be upset in 3-putt. I've seen you do it.
No, I was not upset. I'd hit a really good shot. Should have been a hole in one.
Well, that's bittersweet.
And here, let me tell you. So I had started today with a birdie, and I'd played really well. But when he sends me that text, I have triple.
I knew that was going to be my fault.
doubled, and I'm walking up to a par 3, and I'm like, the only thing that'll make my day now is if I hold this out, and that nobody would believe me at that point. I'll be like, "Oh, I just knocked in my first hole in one."
Yeah, Brown got robbed.
You're just saying.
Were you not playing with anybody?
Oh yeah.
No, he's saying nobody in the text would have believed it.
Nobody in the text would have believed me that I actually hit a hole in one at that point. But I was trying, man. I got up to that tee box. I was fuming. I was like, he was that close. I'm having the worst day ever on the golf course, other than the great weather.
Did you even land the green?
No, I didn't. I overcompensated and jerked it into the trap. It's horrible. Nothing I hate more than me having bad luck on the golf course than Brown having good luck on the golf course.
That was not good luck yesterday.
That's our show today. Thank you for being with us. That hour always brought to you by the wonderful folks at Champy's, champyschicken.com. Love those guys. Sterling will take care of you for lunch and dinner, all your to-go orders, tailgating, watching March Madness, Highway 119 in Alabaster, champyschicken.com. Keep these times in mind, by the way, guys. 4 to 6 on Sunday, we're at Odie's. 4 to 6 on Sunday at Odie's for a live show. If you can't make it, video platform set your alerts. We'll preview the selection show, and then as it's unveiled at 5, we will react to it instantly. And before that, on Friday, 9 to 12 at the Cellar, we are up there in Nashville, just off Broadway at the Cellar, 9 to 12 live show Friday with our friends at Kickin' Coolers. And there's our prediction today, brought to you by Vulcan Tire and Automotive. All of our SEC coverage in Nashville. We all like Arkansas in this first game, just now tipping. 2 of us like Texas. It is
I got Vandy.
Brownie. It's got Vandy. We all like Mississippi State, and then I'll take the Boomer Sooners tonight.
Thread the needle. I like Georgia to win, but Oklahoma to cover.
Oh, so it's going to be a good game. That's our show. Until next time, God bless you and God bless America.